Next on Cartoon Chat.
If it's the last thing we do, Fred Flintstone, we will work this out.
This is the Animation Conversation. I am one of your hosts, Brian the Baltimorean, in the Canine Biscuits ever-improving broadcast studio on this Toonsgiving, sitting alongside the man that has and is home of the broadcast studio itself.
What the fuck is that in front of your face? Oh, shit! We have different mics now.
Yes.
Of varying quality, but we're going to get better over time. It's funny, we're gonna be able to look back. There's just like errors of technology we had. Like we had the camcorder that was connected to HDMI. We had the fucking old cameras. We had other mics. We had two mics that were like sometimes echoey, which was probably like the last recordings before this.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I mean, if you go super far back, we're talking about PlayStation Eye camera. From the PS3.
Oh yeah, not of the Screen Blast channel.
Not of the Screen Blast channel, but going far, far back. That's when you really, really get a sense for just how far the technology has come. But yeah, we've really been improving. The DLC growth and the development of the studio is awesome. So, ever upwards, as they say. Of course, here on Cartoon Chat, we cover a cool set of tunes. Either it's a movie, either it's a series, or a short. Today we've got a pretty cool.
We haven't done a series in a while now. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
so I guess win or lose counts.
So we kind of covered. What's funny is, let me correct myself. What's funny is whenever we do these movies that are based around television shows, we end up actually doing a brief cover of that TV show. Like obviously we did the PPG episode, and then we did earlier this year the Tiny Toon Adventures. It's like we're not necessarily.
I mostly be choosing the TV because I love. There's so many TV movies I love too much.
Yeah,
I mostly be choosing those.
And it's a really good way to just be able to jump in and get a little sense of it. So, and obviously it gives you context for the movie. So
look forward to our Simpsons movie 2 conversation in like fucking 3 years.
2027. We have to if it depends on how we end up doing these, but obviously if we end up getting to Simpsons movie, that'd be great before 2. It just depends on how things roll. All right.
We will. We'll get there.
Most likely. Of course, part of the Cartoon Chat collection includes the fact that you can find us on YouTube, on Spotify, on your favorite podcast service. You can go to cartoonchatpodcast.com. Of course, it releases also on Athemocracy and Screen Blast next day on podcast services. Of course, how this works, if you're new to Cartoon Chat, is we go through the why, the what, the who, and then we actually get to the thing. So, of course, we start off with why we're actually covering this. It's Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving special, Mark. I mean, I don't think we really need another explanation, but you're going to tell us why. Then you've got the what. We tell you something that you may not have known about it, give our thoughts on that thing. We talk about who's behind that particular thing, whether that's the series or the movie, obviously, that we'll be covering. Then we do a semi-commentary or just discussion that follows through the progression of the story itself. It's a fun time. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Rounding out the Cartoon Chat collection, of course.
I guess it's technically a Thanksgiving special. I mean, it is about like a family.
Oh no, this is literally going out. That's why it's Toonsgiving.
Stone Age family.
No, that's why it's Toonsgiving, Mark. Remember, this is the Toonsgiving special. So this right here.
It works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm saying this is literally Toonsgiving. Like, you're saying maybe this is Thanksgiving. Like, this is literally Toonsgiving. Like, praise be to the salvation of the stuffed turkey. Of course, rounding around the Cartoon Chat world is Toon Talk. This is my news, nostalgia, and opinion podcast. Of course, you'll see Mark there on segments.
I don't want to be there, but I'll be there. Fuck.
Thanks, man. Of course, you can. But yeah, this is where we end up going through a bunch of different things that have happened. It drops monthly, usually alongside Cartoon Chat. Next to that, we've got the Time Warp. during expanded time
There
warps,
they go.
I don't remember the lyrics. Remember the three boys working on the yeah, we got it.
I know the fucking rhythm.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And also, you made this too late because we missed the time warp trio.
No, we're gonna at the end of the year. I think if we record in November, I want to try to knock out 10 distinct series or movies that have come out in this year that we missed in the first half of the year that we kind of just weren't.
We can probably talk about when it ends. We can talk about the ending of shows.
No, I mean like we're gonna do that before the year's end, so it actually counts, and then we'll keep it moving. But we missed out on some cool movies and shit. Anyway, time warp is just a traveling. We travel through time. We check out movies that are movies, TV shows, animated, anything that's hitting a birthday decennial by 10. So it's going to be pretty cool if you check that out. That drops usually at the beginning of the month, or it's stuff within the Toon Talk episode itself. All right, Mark. Last things last. ScreenBlastPodcast.com. Make sure you check out the Screen Blast Society. That's obviously where you can find all of our movie reviews, all of our other content. It feels like I'm doing a sponsored bit here, but you can find it on your favorite podcast.
You are for ourselves. You do this every time because we have to.
No. It's not just that, Mark. Mark, what's funny is like this is the first podcast since usually I don't drop this many things. You know what I mean? Like usually it's go to Screen Blast Society and then we're moving on. This is like the first time where we've got 3 different things: Toon Talk, got Time Warp, I'm shouting out, and Screen Blast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's like it feels a lot more like a cheeseburger, which you usually don't get for Thanksgiving. But I think you know what we're talking about. All right. Now we're getting back into obviously Cartoon Chat. Mark, before we get into our discussion on obviously Flintstones on the Rocks, I want to drop a scenario to you. It is obviously Toonsgiving, Thanksgiving special. I got a scenario for you because there were way back around the time that Flintstones came out 3 no's to any family gathering. Mark's got to adjust his camera to make sure that he gets the context. There were 3 no's to any conversation with family back then. The no's were politics, sex, or religion. Now, here's the scenario. You are walking into a family gathering, and you need to literally boost the energy of the room. You've got to throw like a grenade level topic in there.
Okay.
Which one of those 3 subjects are you throwing out there for max damage? Politics, sex, or religion?
Politics, easy.
Man, I'm right there with you. I think you could.
Religion will just like people. It will just get people confused. And like they but also people are more willing to like I guess to like just to accept certain like, okay, this is your side of religion, this is my side. You're going to hell, I'm not. It's on you, buddy. What was the third one? Sex. Some people are just sex positive. Some people are just like, I mean, especially now, especially in the year 2025, sex positivity is everywhere. And that goes for pronouns and stuff, and the type of things you're into.
Not again. We're talking family gathering. We're talking old people in here too. Random family gathering.
I mean, how many old people we're talking?
I don't know. A hypothetical.
Because it depends the ratio.
Good point.
Most old people have like already been told to shut up multiple times, and they're just getting used to it. So, politics though, that can get pretty spicy fast, especially like
It can get fun fast too,
because that that does have an effect on people's lives. And it's like, wait, you're okay with this person's decisions? You're voting for this person? We can't have another vote for them. No, wait, you're not voting for this person? What? Wait, you're okay with the decisions being made? This is fucking up like the ecosystem. This fucking the economics. It does actually have an effect on our lives, people's ideas of religion, because democracy, and we vote on shit, and we sometimes don't vote on shit. And it's our current predicament. But yes.
No one knows what you're talking about. Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm with you. 1000%. I think politics, if you're talking about a nuke, I think so sex is interesting because sex, you could throw in, I think that depends on who you're talking to. If the ratio is more old people than young people, you could throw a nuke in and it would fucking horrify them, and it would be hilarious to watch because you could go as far out as possible and freak some old people out. Some old people would be absolutely comfortable with it because they're already freaks themselves. So gotta lean into politics.
I mean, if you're in my case, like, old people can understand homosexuality better than they can understand asexuality. No old people person understands asexuality.
Fair. But like, you could really, I'm saying like you could throw out a ton of different scenarios and or a ton of different hypotheticals, and either you'll have the one weird uncle maybe that like understands and is like a bachelor, and like maybe he'll get to understand like, oh yeah, no problem. But most of those old people would be very disturbed by some of those stories, you know. Like for instance, you drop like an anal nuke on one of them, you're like, oh dear God, why are you talking about that? Oh no, dear Lord. But I think the nuke really is politics. I think genuinely, like you said, because like you could have fun with it. You can make fun of like certain things that happen through the year. Like, you know, you could do a lot. When
you're talking about like sex and stuff, it's just more like, ew, really around the table. It's just more of like a gross out than like making somebody bad, because like it doesn't even have to be about sex. Like,
so then is that
I got this rash by a very yellow booger that's super slimy. You talk about that around the dinner table, like, ew, dude, come on, man.
So then, is that a nuke? I mean, that sounds like it sounds like it's not even a nuke. It's more disgusting.
It won't really cause arguments. It just make people.
It would just disturb people. It would disturb
making them uncomfortable. Like, you know, politics will cause arguments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Religion is kind of, it's not a moot point, but I think they're all settled into their ways. So if you were to bring up like some other religion, unless you're in a really devout place, like you're not getting that many people that will.
I think religion also goes into my, like, what I was talking about with sex. Like, in the year 2025, more people are accepting of like things that they believe in.
Yes.
And like where we go back in time, more people are less accepting of like certain, you know.
100%, 100,000%.
Like nowadays, it's just like, oh, you believe in that? Well, I believe in this. So okay, fine.
Yeah, I think politics for the win.
Yeah.
Nuke bomb. All right.
That was the one.
We're going to take a quick break. On the other side, Flintstones.
It says Thanksgiving, which I think is code for Gamma Transgalactic Transport System.
Buzz, can't you just say Happy Thanksgiving?
Hey, it's me, Stick Stickley. And guess who's hosting Nickelodeon's Non-Stop Nicktoons Weekend this Thanksgiving? No, not the turkey. Me, Stick Stickley. And guess what we're showing all weekend long? Turkey's tunes. Yeah, Ren and Stimpy, Rugrats, Doug, Rocco, and real monsters. That hurts my throat. Anywho, it'll be a 4-day weekend of your favorite Nicktoons. Oh, I gotta get out of here before I get gobbled.
Tune into Nickelodeon's Non-Stop Nicktoons this Thanksgiving weekend.
Or you know what you'll be? A turkey. Just kidding. A turkey.
Watch the swingin' show that everybody goes for, The Flintstones, every week on ABC TV.
Tell the audience what made you lean into this. This is an interesting choice, as always, for most of your choices. Why'd you go for this?
I was always interested in watching this short, and I just never got around to it, and then I forgot about it. And then like I think it was, I don't know if it was like New York Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con, but I heard there was an announcement that like Warner Brothers had like more animated projects, even though they were like declaring Armageddon on all animation. But okay, and because they're still working on they're working on more Looney Tunes shit. But they like fucking executed all their
a ton.
Gutted all their other Looney Tunes shit in production. So what the fuck is going on here?
Right.
I don't know. Maybe Space Jam 3 or some shit. Who knows? Warner Bros. Doesn't make any.
Exciting!
Warner Bros. Doesn't make any fucking sense, man.
Right.
But like another news is like CG new Flintstones movie, and it's like, oh shit, new Flintstones. Oh, Flintstones. Fuck. Let me I want to watch On the Rocks. You know what? I'm gonna make this a cartoon chat. We're gonna make On the Rocks cartoon chat. Because like it's because if we we're probably gonna touch a Hanna-Barbera cartoon eventually, but like a lot of those old ones are fucking boring as shit, and like a lot of Flintstones episodes are fucking boring as shit. But I remember watching Flintstones back in the day because Cartoon Network would just run old cartoons just because.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid with like free time, you just watch anything.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's on your favorite channel. So anything Cartoon Network show just has on, whether I like it or not. If it shows them on the 3 favorite channels, the Nickelodeon, Nickelodeon, Disney, and Cartoon Network. If it just shows up on there, it doesn't have to be good or bad. Like, I'll watch it. And
Sure.
I watch a ton of shit. A ton of garbage back in the day, just because it was just on my favorite channel, and I had nothing else better to do.
There's
or
a
watch.
ton of garbage that you just kind of get cycled into because, again, like, we've talked about this so many times before, but you have, like, let's say 3 channels, maybe like you had Discovery Kids, but there was usually nothing interesting on that, or whatever the random other channel would be that had kids content, and usually it was more educational than the core 3. You were going to cycle through and see what was the best, and if there's nothing great on, then you're probably sticking to at least one of those. And yeah, absolutely, you're kind of going to find yourself just inadvertently watching something that you probably wouldn't if it wasn't just the best thing out of the 3 that was on.
So I did watch a bit of Flintstones back in my day. I've also, other exposures to the Flintstones. Cartoon Network, Cartoon Theater would play the Flintstones meet the Jetsons. I think that was my first crossover. I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. They're meeting. Right. The future meets the past. And then like the Flintstones movie by Steven Spielberg. That's literally what it says on the fucking poster.
That is whole. That Steven
Spielberg, because like he made his name Steven Spielberg.
Is that the live action movie you're talking about? Okay, all right.
Which predates the movie we're about to talk about.
Yes, absolutely.
And but like I never heard about this when I was when I was a kid. I found out about this like 3 or 4 years ago because the podcast I was listening to we just like mentioned it, and I was like, what the fuck is Flintstones on the Rocks? And I was like, oh, I saw a clip of it. It's like, oh, it's a modern version of the Flintstones, but like they're like they're touching on the like the honeymoon, like the like they're touching on like the honeymooners relationship Fred and Wilma have, and they're kind of treating it like more
there's friction
not realistic, but like they're kind of modernizing the idea of it, because that honeymooners relationship, like I never watched the Honeymooners, but like I know about them through references and stuff, and
right.
Flintstones is just a ripoff of the Honeymooners.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, the quote was that he was the creator of the Honeymooners wanted to sue the Flintstones, but then Flintstones was so significant that he just said, "Fuck it, I don't want to be tagged as the guy that."
I never looked up that.
Got rid of the Flintstones.
That's plausible.
I believe that was the quote.
I know, like the main fat guy. His quote is "Pow! Straight to the moon. One of these days. One of these days."
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, I think on my end, yeah, I think again, we talked about this earlier, just between Flintstones and obviously On the Rocks, like this is a vague thing I've never heard of once, and let alone Flintstones was not even preferably in my wheelhouse and at all. Like if it was on, I'm changing it. Like I wish that I could say that I stayed on. I'd stick to Tom and Jerry, I'd stick to classic Scooby-Doo, I'd stick to a ton of older content. I had no problem with staying on. Something about Flintstones when it was on Cartoon Network when I was a kid, I just, it was already fading by the time I was cognizant enough to catch that it was on, but it just never really, really held me in any attention. And we did talk about, obviously, earlier, I preferred the Jetsons, but it's not like I really love the Jetsons. I just thought, wow.
You mean the Futurellis from Channel Chasers?
Right. Exactly. So,
actually, no. I forgot to mention a big exposure, because like we all exposed like from this Flintstones through this. It's like those funny Pebbles commercials. Bonnie, my Pebbles.
That is by far the most significant.
They're like those commercials, like what like kind of like made me know their relevance or their names as a kid. It's just like I mostly know, like I mostly like never forgot about the Flintstones because of those fucking commercials.
Yes. Yeah, I think
that's it. I also like that cereal. I would see their faces on the box all the time.
You forgot about the other thing, Mark. The very rock solid vitamins.
I only got those once though. I know the significance of them, like through the internet. I know they're a meme. Yeah. But like in terms of exposure to them as a children, I only get those once, but I didn't really care for those.
Yeah, I think one of the weird things about the Flintstones.
They're still around though.
No, they are still around. Yeah, I think one of the weird things about the Flintstones is like you don't really consider it to be obviously as big as it was, but it's like we are at a point where it's almost like if you imagine The Simpsons only was around through the 90s and that's it, and then you imagine hypothetically The Simpsons ended after the 90s, and then you had this dead space until about the present, and you were revisiting The Simpsons then. It's like, that's... The Simpsons would be still thought of as fantastic, but it definitely would have faded a little bit, just as it already currently is. There's no perception that the Flintstones are a cultural touchstone of the 20th century at all. Like, you really do not get a window into the sense of, oh yeah, through the second half of the 1900s, like, this was the thing. Like, this was the iconic cartoon. Like, there's nothing synonymous in the present to make you think that the Flintstones were that relevant, but they were that relevant. And it is crazy to consider, especially since it only ran from 60 to 66, I believe. Yeah.
Hey, boy, ain't nothing like a Winston cigarette.
And all but they have their sponsored tie-ins. They had all their, during the episodes too. I mean, it's not just that they were, they had the commercials. It's like, no, they were regularly, especially when you had the Pebbles and Bam Bam in there, then you would, you could have different brands for families and all that. So,
I think the most recent cartoon came out like 2 years ago, and it was like a Pebbles and Bam Bam like cartoon.
It makes sense to keep trying. I mean, they did so many things. Obviously, you brought up the movie, but they had Flintstones Kids even in the 80s or 70s. So, this is it's incredibly significant. I think the cool thing that I've read, I haven't seen because, look, I watched a couple episodes. I watched about 3 or 4 episodes, and I could see where there was magic, but it's just that there's so many better evolutional versions of the sitcom family that it just is. Now it's unfortunately kind of dry by comparison, or it's just kind of outdated in its cultural senses. And that's not a bad thing all the time. There are moments that still make me giggle, or I'm like, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I feel that energy, Fred, or, Barney. I can feel that sentiment. But it's definitely aged to the point where, again, there's better out there now. So, I could understand the audience at the time enjoying the show, especially because you watch this couple that is married progress. I mean, they have a kid later down the line. There's actual development here. Obviously, it's mostly episodic, but there's development here in a situation that you wouldn't usually get out of most of these, even modern animated sitcoms.
Yeah, well, we see like the future of like when we even get like a movie or episode where Pebbles and Bam are full grown-ups.
Right, and it's like that's. Oh wait, you said Pebbles and Bam Bam are grown-ups. Like they have a few episodes of that.
It's probably a movie, but like we do see them as grown-ups a couple times.
That's an awesome vantage point. Obviously, that reminds me of what's funny is I didn't realize how much the inspiration for how inspirational the Flintstones was to the Simpsons intro at all.
Oh, like a lot of people are always saying like the Simpsons are a ripoff of the Flintstones, and like the show would acknowledge that a couple times. They would have Homer sing the Flintstones theme song. There was a funny joke in the Simpsons guy, the Family Guy Simpsons crossover.
Yeah,
where because like they're the joke of that whole plot of that whole the meta plot of that whole special was Family Guy's involved with the Simpsons. So when they went to court about like who the beer that Peter was selling is a ripoff of Duff beer, the judge was Fred Flintstone.
That's good. That's good.
So
I wish I could picture that in my head immediately, but like I think because I just didn't really care that much about the Flintstones, it just kind of passed by. But it's very smart. That's a witty thing to do. Just put him there. He is the judge, jury, and executioner. It makes sense. Let's get into just the breakdown really quickly for obviously the movie that we're watching. Now, the series itself, like I said before, it ran from 1960, fall 1960 up until April 1st, 1966. The genre it's a comedy drama series. This had 6 seasons, 166 episodes, produced by Hanna-Barbera. In fact, created by Hanna and Barbera. This is a core piece to the puzzle that is Hanna-Barbera. You can't overlook that. Obviously, when you're looking at Flintstones on the Rocks, you got yourself now on the other side of the century. This was November of 2001. This is runtime of just over an hour. It's a very neatly compacted movie. And this was made by Hanna-Barbera Cartoon Network Studios with a small, little brief bit of a stop motion section made by Screen Novelties. This was the very end of Hanna-Barbera before it got fully absorbed And so this is one of the last things that was worked on by Hanna-Barbera before obviously it got folded into Warner Brothers Animation. Then you had just fully Cartoon Network Studios at that point. Yeah. I think one of the last significant things I want to touch on is the fact that I know we talked about Simpsons obviously briefly, Mark, but again, due to that legacy impact, it's hard to understate because I don't know when if we revisit the Flintstones ever again. It's hard to understand what the perception of animation would be to the general masses if not for the ripple effect of the Flintstones, and it's hard to perceive what would be around. Obviously, The Simpsons, but we're talking as far out as Family Guy or Bob's Burgers, right? Like, I mean, what would be the standard, or what would be the norm, or what would be the trendsetter if not for the Flintstones having that synonymous impact through the second half of the 20th century? That is a big question, and it's a tough thing to kind of figure out.
Not really, because like it's just the Flintstones is like the first case of like a sitcom but animated, and we would get there eventually. We probably wouldn't have what we have. We probably wouldn't have what we have now,
right?
But like we would get to something similar of the Flintstones because it's just a sitcom but animated.
So just we get some Freaky Friday universe, but it would still exist in some.
But because they were like one of the earliest, they were also like one of the early, because I can't say they were the first, but like I haven't done all the research, but like I can say they're one of the earliest to like do desperate sitcom like attention grabs, or like
like cliffhangers you're talking, like,
or clickbait. So like they would add new characters. Like they would add the Great Kazoo, which is an alien that like that from the future or something like that. He's there to learn shit. He's just a new gimmick to get ratings in. Another big thing is they added a fucking baby. Pebbles came later, and then they added with Pebbles they added Bam Bam as well. So. And sitcoms would like often do this. We're like, we're gonna introduce like a baby. We're gonna introduce a new character. They were kind of the earliest to do that. They're kind of one of the earliest examples of a sitcom kind of doing that.
Gotcha. All right. Trendsetters. All right. Now this leads us to our obviously next little bit here. I want to go into a Toon Family Totem Pole. I want to have a cool little experiment here, Mark, and see where you stand on this. We're talking obviously about one of the most iconic animated sitcoms of all time, but we didn't grow up with this thing. We're not that old, at least not yet. Wanted to run through, obviously, these don't have to be distinctly families. They don't even have to they have to have an actual blood bond, and they have to have been a family at some point. But they don't have to be sitcom families. Just understand that. So, in terms of that, like off the top of your head, I took notes. You're kind of doing this off the top of your head for the most part. You've had a little time to stew on this. What is your Toon Family Totem Pole? Your top of the top, preferably. Top 5. Let's say 5. Yeah. Let's
all right. 5. The Beatles, The Temptations, Kiss, Daft Punk, and let's see.
I swear if you don't say it.
Initial D. It's only 2 people, but they're.
I swear if you didn't say it. What did you say?
And Tenacious D. They're only 2 people, but they're a family.
You could have just slid in Spinal Tap right there, and you just.
They're fake. They're not real.
That's what they all say. All right, what is your actual Toon Family Totem Pole, Mark? Why did you choose a music? What does that have to do with anything?
Music is family. They get animated at some point.
Yes, they do. Just like The Weeknd on American Dad.
Vin Diesel himself. That covers all 5. He's family.
He's family. He is family. He will always be family until the next Fast and Furious doesn't get made. But he's not family.
That ship is sinking.
That ship is. All right. You are really stalling this to think about your collection.
I already thought about it.
All right.
But my top 5 is like the first 3 are a bit easy ones, but like
okay.
Number 5 is the Griffins. When it's done right, I do like their dynamics, especially the idea of like no one can understand the baby except for Brian Griffin and sometimes Chris. And especially in the modern episodes, Chris can just it's the rule is now Chris can understand Stewie. and Brian, but not anybody else. Peter like Peter's like the most active one in the family, and is getting them the nonsense. Lois is like the straight person, and like Meg is a punching bag, and Chris is just the gooner now in the modern episode seasons. He's just goons
Pretty much.
but he's just kind of there in the older seasons. Brian and Stewie are a whole different entity of the family, and their episodes are fun. And then you got number 4, another easy one, The Simpsons.
Wow, it's now number 4 for you.
Oh, yeah, I like the top 3 a lot.
Interesting. Okay.
Simpsons is a good show.
See, you're naming these off with detail. I was expecting detail, but I'm glad. Keep going.
Oh yeah, The Simpsons is like Homer is the lovable idiot. Sometimes there's some episodes where he's just a fucking jerk. Marge is the most straightforward person. Lisa's the smart one, but sometimes she's a smart ass. Bart's the troublemaker. Oh, and that's the whole family. The Maggie's the baby, but these are like the most iconic family in animation.
Well, I think the other thing, because they're on my list too, is like they've been in all situations. Like, I mean, they've been in every situation, so it's like the context fits for them because
I'm sure it's Christmas show. Marge's fling, Homer's bow, Barton Whale, Flanders Fells, Whacking Stakes, Monorail, Mr. Plow, Homer Space, Sideshow Bob, Sets on Ricks, Lisa's Future, Selma's Hobby, Masha Proud, Homer Chubby. I can go on.
10 out of 10. What do you got for number 3?
The Wattersons. Gumball from the Amazing World of Gumball. And like kind of similar dynamic to the Simpsons and the Griffins, but the traits are kicked up to 10 where Richard is like so stupid where if he's not stupid, the reality breaks. The Nicole, the mother, like she is a straightforward person, but like she holds everything together so much that she has like impossible strength. Like she is a dangerous person when she's angry.
Yes.
She will if things don't work, if things just don't work, she will force it. And Gumball is like the troublemaker, but he's not more of a Bart figure.
He's not a Bart figure. Yeah. He's not identical to
Bart he's like the one that tries to figure things out for the family.
Yes.
In the most like weird odd way. And
Gumball
Gumball's the one that's trying to keep him on track. And Nichols and Anais is the smart one.
Everything usually goes through Gumball in some way, shape, or form, obviously. And Richard is just like you said, he's you said this about a previous character, like geared up to 10. Like Richard is a dope geared up.
Yeah, he's not a jerk, but he's just a dope.
He is literally like,
if he's not, the reality breaks if he's like if he's like smart.
It literally does,
or gets a job.
Yes. All right, number 2.
Number 2, the McDucks from DuckTales, specifically 2017, because they are a fun action family, and like shit, I wish more cartoons were written that way because like the development within this family is like really well done. Especially like you get like what the issues between Scrooge McDuck and Donald had with each other, and that gets uncovered throughout the series.
Right.
And then their mother Della Duck comes back, and she has to relearn how to be a mother again. And like there's so many dynamics that play in between the McDucks. Like one of my favorite cartoons ever. I think my favorite cartoon ever. Period. 2017 specifically. I highly recommend anybody just watch the show. Great family dynamic.
So the question is, if that's your number 2 and that's your favorite of all time, what the hell is number 1?
For this one, for my number 1, it's not.
I swear to God, if you stole mine, number 1, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
The Incredible. No. All right. The Flintstones. No. My number 1 is like, it mostly goes for like multiple incarnations. So not just one, but multiple. And that is the family of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay, you really took it. Nice.
Yeah, and it's like because they are like the baseline I would use if you're talking about like character dynamics. and it's like every group or every family probably has a Mikey, which is like the rut of the litter, who is like always like who's like always silly, and then there's Raph, the angry one, super serious. Angry one, very very angry, short fuse.
Yeah.
Donatello, the smart one, usually best ideas, and then Leonardo, the straightforward one, is just like the one trying to keep everything together, and then Master Splinter, who is like the he's the all respected all arounder, and he's the one that just teaches the turtles everything they know, teaches them, give them more information that they need to know, help them along their journey with everything. Nice. And he's every iteration of them, he's just a respectful parent. With the exception of Rise, where he's played more comedic sense, but like even that incarnation of him is like still really fun. It's super fun the way they mess with that incarnation of him.
That will never not be nominated for a watchable, because you will forever nominate that show for watchability over and over and over again.
I love Rise. I love that incarnation. That's my favorite incarnation. Yeah. Even though I do recommend 2012 as like it is the better show. Goddamn, that show is fucking good. But my favorite personal incarnation is Rise.
Cool beans. All right. I'm gonna take with my totem pole. Usually, what I was gonna do is have my own set, but you know what? No, we have similar. Some of ours are similar, but I'm gonna take any of them that you took off of my list, and I'm gonna drop some lore into my own that are different. First things first. Again, it's not 5-1 anymore, because I'm just gonna throw this shit in terms of a way where it all works out. That again, these are different, but I've got to shout out. Man, I was stuck between like what was in the 5. Bluey is weird because I think over the past 5 years, it's done such a great thing psychologically for just clarity and being such a good family series and understanding the balance of, almost like how Rugrats handled it, where, again, you're talking about a great balance for audiences of all ages. I mean, this is a great all-around show, and it takes itself not super seriously, but it takes anything that it's talking about as seriously as it can.
Rugrats?
No, Bluey.
Oh, Bluey, yeah.
Bluey. So Bluey was in there. Shout out to Full Metal Alchemist, because even though spoiler, there are 2 family members, 2 of the, it's all about the brothers here.
Fucking spoiled. I was watching that.
I know. It's all about the brothers here.
Spoiled the whole show. I'm not going to watch anymore.
That dynamic is so strong, and the fight to get Alphonse back what he needs, and that climb to become ever better and, work it out between each other is infinitely better than almost anything in any family series. But look, I'm not going as detailed as you on these descriptions, just a heads up. Shout out to Chowder, which is not in my top 5, but it's like, that's a funny dynamic. It is. I don't think any of them are really they're not really blood bound, but man, what a funny dynamic.
You take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take the moon, and you take.
Then you've got, all right, the Boondocks. The Boondocks is great because it's beyond just the core characters.
That's a dysfunctional family.
It is representative of so many things. It is still in my Toon Family totem pole. It is dysfunctional, yes, but it's also in the right circumstances. They are not dysfunctional. They are working together,
yes,
in the best possible way. And that core 3, is amazing. And
now the show's about Tom. it is Tom's show.
Boondocks?
Yeah,
it's Tom's show. It is Tom's show, but
because a lot of episodes are about him, they love that character.
Yeah, I think again,
I think it's the name right of the neighbor, right?
Yeah, but yeah. Shout out to again, Simpsons was in here, but I'm gonna go Bob's Burgers. I think that the Belches are an excellent family.
Damn,
I think that it's incredible.
That would have took over the Griffins for me.
It is incredibly witty. It is incredible. Like every single character has something super defining. Every single character is,
My butt has
real.
A fever. My pants can't believe.
Yeah, and like Linda's great. Obviously, Bob's great. Like everyone's chemistry is amazing. Like it never ever gets unenjoyable. Like that is a lovable show.
That was my pandemic show right there.
That was your pandemic show. Oh yeah, it was so easy to just turn it on and just have it there for like
Adventure
hours.
Brothers. That was also my pandemic.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
That's a dysfunctional family. That's a fun one.
Yeah. Jumping over Simpsons, I've got The Incredibles. Obviously, I'm not gonna even look. We did a whole cartoon chat on it, so I don't need to say.
What about The Incredibles 2? The Incredibles do exist. What about The Incredibles 2?
No, it doesn't.
That's what your argument was when I was trying to talk about Fantastic Four. Like I was like, you can't. I brought up The Incredibles, and it was like, you can't compare them. You mean a movie from like 20 fucking some years ago? It's like, why? Because The Incredibles 2 exists.
That was
like,
yeah.
And he was like, what the fuck has to do with Fantastic Four? With The Incredibles 1?
I think, I hope when Incredibles 3 comes out, it becomes like a Cars 3 thing where you can just hover over to, like it doesn't exist.
I'm gonna rewatch Incredibles 2 eventually.
We have to because these fucking sequels come out every 20 years or every 15 years. We're like, dude, by the time Incredibles 5 comes out, we are going to be senior citizens. Like, just understand that.
I think on the surface, Incredibles 2 is like an okay movie.
On the surface, and the premise is great on the surface.
In comparison to the first one, it is a massive disappointment.
It's an incredible disappointment. Yeah.
But it does do a lot of cool things. Like that fucking seizure room scene is pretty fucking badass.
It was amazing. But then everything around it.
You don't like the Fortnite new characters? Fucking Fortnite heroes.
Alright, my top of the top is King of the Hill. King of the Hill is my King of the Hill for my Toon Family Totem Pole.
Recency
I think whether you're talking no, this was always and ever. Whenever you think about an animated family whenever you think about an animated family that has been just through a lot and through a journey and has shown that journey well, again, I think about obviously as much as we had the recent stuff, like the earlier stuff and the development of all the surrounding characters. Obviously, we talked about it before during our discussion about King of the Hill with Luann and her growth. Like she's a steady character that progresses through the series. She's going through I think what is she doing? Hair school or something, and then she has those relationships and she's trying to figure herself out. And Hank has to be there at times to help her, or Peggy has to be there to help her, or obviously they have to be there to help Bobby. Strickland propane and fucking Strickland being an asshole. Everything about that relation, the family dynamic and the world around them. Like Arlen is a place that that is genuine. Like that back alley is genuine. That world is genuine. And like I've loved it since I was a kid. I will continue to love King of the Hill unless that next season is trash, and even then I'll still love the earlier stuff. Nothing can kind of pull me away from it unless I learn that Mike Judge is like a serial killer. So like, yeah,
he's earned his serial killings. He made some good shit.
You know what? I'm not jinxing it. So
that fucking new Beavis and Butthead is still fucking good shit. Yeah. I don't know how
we will do the universe.
Cause you think, because I keep like you think like concept like even Buzzhead would get tiring, but like every time it gets canceled, it brought back to keep making it better. Because it got canceled in like the 90s, and like they brought it back in 2011, and it was better than it was. Okay, that got canceled again, and then they brought it back like
for Paramount Plus.
Yeah, on Paramount Plus, and it's still better than it was, and it's like shit. How do you keep getting better? That's not supposed to happen with adult animation shows.
Judge just has the Midas touch, it seems. Judge and whoever he's working around, has the Midas touch. Yeah. So yeah, that's my core. I had a little more than just 5, but like I just pushed them off to the side. But yeah, guys, obviously,
both our number ones is Vin Diesel. Family,
of course.
And cause there was a Fast and the Furious animated show on Netflix, so it is.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! I heard that one's piss.
And he shows up in it.
I heard that's literally
these guys are my family.
Have you watched that show?
No, I have not. I caught Troy watching it.
You watched it, right? You're gonna watch it for Thanksgiving.
I caught like the like when the other lads, they were watching it downstairs. Like I caught them watching it, and I saw like it. Like, is that Vin Diesel? Like, yeah.
Oh, it sounds great. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. On the other side, We're going to go into the who's behind such a maniacal movie after this.
Tonight, can the Rubbles save their best friend's marriage?
Happy anniversary! You forgot!
Cartoon Network's Cartoon Theater presents The Flintstones on the Rocks.
Welcome back to the Kids WB Turkey Day Food Fling. The score is still 0-0, and the Mighty Mashers are now playing for 100 points in the game of Bullseye.
Like, look, the food pot is loaded up with Brandon's spinach spaghetti ranch dressing delight. Yo,
let the sketty fly.
Now that's my kind of bullseye. Like, unbelievable! The score is still 0-0.
Don't go away. The Kids WB Turkey Day Food Fling will be back.
Welcome to Cartoon Network's Cartoon Theater.
Giving. Obviously, we've got to get to the who here. Without leading into the movie first, we have to obviously, like I said, mention before, Flintstones would not be anywhere without William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, of course. But getting into the movie, now this was directed by a core of two. You've got Chris Savino and David Smith. I'm going to lead into, with these directors, I did put a little bit of work into giving you an understanding of what they have for a background. Now, Chris Savino was actually he was heavily into Cartoon Network already, so he was the director on the last quarter of Dexter's Laboratory episodes for season 3 and season 4. He was the director on 71 of 73 episodes of Kick Buttowski. He was the creator, obviously, of The Loud House. And, then you have Faux Pas. Before we get to Faux Pas, look, unfortunately, I do have to mention, we can't go any further without unfortunately mentioning this guy is, unfortunately, he's a little bit grimy. He is unfortunately stained with sexual assault reports in April of 2018.
I wouldn't say he touched Brian in inappropriate ways.
Thankfully not me, but in April of 2018, 11 women who worked alongside Savino spoke on The Loud House, at least spoke on sexual assault and harassment. So just a heads up, this guy, as much as I'm going to be saying shout out, good job for his collection of stuff that he made, not the best person in the world, and in fact, kind of shady there. But he also made Faux Pas, Mark, and we both looked at this. This was a short created by Savino alongside McCracken and Tartakovsky. I thought this was okay. This is pretty fun. It's nothing too insane. This
short annoyed me.
It annoyed you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just don't like that lady.
Oh, yeah. I feel you. I thought it's welcome to the fact that, again, Cartoon Network and the cartoon run was like with the cartoon show was very much open, or I should say what a cartoon show was very open to a bunch of random shit, just throw it on the wall, see what sticks. I thought, okay, I can see why this didn't get like, all right, hey, thumbs up. But it was like, it was fine. It wasn't like amazing. And like you said, you had an annoying lady there. But it was cool to see that, this was tag teamed along with McCracken. And
it does have that art style that would later kind of be reused for The Loud House. That lady looks like she's directly from that world.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. So it does have an art style. I guess he does like cats. He has made like a weird comic of like a cat who's like trying to I guess sexually harass his mother or something. Like he's like,
oh my God,
trying to get his mother's breast milk.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't think it's a rated G. I think it's more like PG-13 comic of him trying to I guess sexually harass his mother in some way. Jesus. It's weird. It's a weird. But it's his work.
Do you think, I'm just going to go out on a limb. Do you think, we saw Fixed, obviously. Do you think he's the weird one? Because Tartakovsky said that this is based on, his friend group when he was much younger. Do you think that he's the weird one out of that collection of friends from way back, apparently, in the movie.
It could be.
Because he kind of fits like a glove a little bit. All the action.
Is he one of Gendy's boys?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, like he probably could be.
I mean, well, again, reportedly way back, like when they worked together in the Cartoon Network collection there, back then, yeah. I don't know Tartakovsky, so I don't, this is the type of shit where he's going to be like, you said, what about me? We're never working together. So just understand, theoretically, all right? Watch Fixed if you want to. All right, moving on. By the way, Faux Pas was actually over, it was released actually a year and a half before Flintstones on the Rocks, just to be aware. You good?
Yeah, I found a comic. I think it's called Oedipus.
Oedipus. That's good.
Wow!
That's good.
That took me a second. I was reading it and I was like, because I wasn't getting it as I was reading it. It was like, Oedipus. And if you want to look at the comic, it's called Oedipus.
That's good.
And yeah, I'm looking, there's one where he's trying to, his mother is taking a bath and he's trying to jump. It's a little fucking weird. Jesus. This man is weird.
Yeah, again, I do think he's the weird dog, and I think he's the weird dog in Fixed. If that's based on Tartakovsky's old friend group from the past. David Smith is also a co-director. He's a co-director and writer. Now this guy was a story writer on 10 episodes of Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, mostly season 1. He was a story.
I know that show is ugly, but it's actually pretty fucking funny.
This is one of those where you have to strap me to a chair and like have me do a cartoon chat on fucking.
I got this era. It had like some kind.
Some wacky.
It had some cartoons that are ugly, but like, I mean, you have to actually.
You have to give it.
It's like chance. Uncle Grandpa. Yes. I fucking hated the idea of like this show looks so fucking stupid, but it's actually pretty funny.
You were clapping like a seal.
Yeah, it was like that, and like, dude, I did not want to watch Secret Mountain Fort Awesome. It was just on TV, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually pretty fucking funny. There was an episode.
Yeah, I can understand.
There was an episode where they had like fucking time traveling sandwiches, and like every time they ate the sandwiches, I think they went back in time, but to go forward in time, they had to barf up the sandwich.
Oh,
it was so fucking
stupid. Dude. I mean, the problem was just when I saw those character designs, I was like, I can't give this show a chance.
I know,
but now just that premise makes me want to give the show a chance. God damn it, that's stupid. That feels like an Adult Swim series that just made its way on the Cartoon Network. He was a storyboard animator on 40 episodes of Baby Looney Tunes, by the way. Writer and storyboard artist on a handful of Powerpuff Girls episodes. Writer and storyboard artist as well on a dozen Dexter's Lab episodes. He was also one of the big things he's known for as well is his voice acting work. He's credited on over 20 projects for his voice acting, and he's been a storyboard artist and voice actor on a bevy of DreamWorks movies. We're talking Shrek 2, Flushed Away, Croods, Turbo Trolls. There's a ton more, but I didn't put them all in here. But this guy, pretty good collection of stuff he's got going on. It was pretty cool to see. Didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Moving on into the writing division here. Obviously, this was written also by Chris and David Savino and Smith. We talked about them just now. But, Cindy Morrow. Cindy Morrow and Clayton Morrow. Cindy, it was a writer on 25 episodes of Dexter's Lab, mostly season 3 and 4. Storyboard artist and story writer on over a dozen Powerpuff Girls episodes. Was a writer on 53 episodes of the French series Rolling with the Wrongs. Never heard of it, but, pretty sizable collection there. Clearly, she was very much in the know for that series. Again, she has a number of writing credits throughout many Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon shows from the 2000s going into the early 2010s. Clayton Morrow, storyboard artist and story writer on nearly 30 Dexter's Lab episodes, a dozen PPG episodes, storyboard director and writer on a dozen Camp Lazlo episodes, which obviously we briefly covered. When did we didn't cover Camp Lazlo? What am I talking about?
We never covered
covered Camp Lazlo.
That show's not right.
It was so I would if there was a marathon of Camp Lazlo or Flintstones, I'd be watching Camp Lazlo. Sorry to tell you guys. Not that it's really a fair comparison. It's not a fair comparison at all. I know. But you said it's all right, so I was like, I had to defend my.
I think the Flintstones is much less than all right. It's not really that interesting. Again, it's fucking Hanna-Barbara bullshit.
My god!
I'm not watching. I'm not going back to watch. Like some of their best stuff is like Scooby Doo, Where Are You? And even that shit is like, it's fucking old.
Okay, I don't think it's bad bullshit. I think it's just old.
I said it's old. I didn't say it's bad.
No, you said Flintstones is bad bullshit. That's what you said.
I used the wrong word. It's just bullshit.
I was like, wait a minute, we're doing
Not
a
bad
Flintstones.
bullshit,
We're doing
bullshit.
we're doing a Flintstones movie special. Let's hold the brakes a little bit.
Go watch Flintstones by Steven Spielberg.
Last thing about Clayton Morrow. Cool thing that he's also credited on writer director. He's a writer credit on 38 episodes, director credit on 13 episodes of the Paul Rudish Mickey Mouse cartoons. Mark, I know you're a fan, so I had to shout that one out. Obviously credited producers, you've got Tartakovsky and Brian Miller on supervision. You've got John Cawley and Victoria McCollum on line producing, and then you've got music composed by Joey Altruda, Hoyt Curtain, and Skip Heller. Animation director Robert Alvarez. Again, look, we're not going to always be able to get as many people out there as possible, but as always, I want to make sure that we shout out obviously the entire team of animators, editors, coordinators, operators, all you guys out there that made this thing happen. Shout out to you guys. You got the thing nailed. Last thing was last, but not last and not least. Obviously, we got to get to the cast. Rolling through, we got Jeff Bergman as Fred's. Jesus Christ! I'm going to try that again. Rolling first, we've got Jeff Bergman as Fred Flintstone, Tress McNeely as Wilma, Kevin Michael Richardson as Barney, Gray Delisle as Betty, Jeff Bennett as Xavier. He's the jewel thief, and Gray Delisle again playing the mystery woman who literally has I think almost, if not no lines, maybe one line. So. Not much to do there. Alongside voice roles by Frank Welker, who's literally on everything.
Yes.
And Tom Kenny, who's obviously back then but back then really on everything. John Kassir and many. One last thing about Flintstones on the Rocks before we get rolling on it. This thing, it's weird, Mark, because this thing was rarely rebroadcast ever, and it did not get a physical release. So finding this thing, you've got to be an internet explorer, and you can find it.
From what I heard, it aired only twice.
Yeah, it's very weird. Very weird.
We got lucky that someone at least recorded it, because there is no official copy that's ever being uploaded or put to streaming.
Right. It's very strange because again, you would imagine if this was obviously HBO Max is a horrible comparison because they slash shit all the time and they don't give a fuck. But you think about streaming and cable back then was the streaming of now, So if you had a Flintstones, this is like Futurama when it came back, when it obviously did its Hulu comeback, or Animaniacs when it came back. It's that's a big deal. So Cartoon Network was so significant back then. You think, okay, we're going to give it a physical release. We're going to give it at least multiple reruns, especially even on Boomerang when it was obviously profitable and, a big deal, or popular, I should say. It's very surprising that this thing did not get more significance because it was made in-house, basically. I'm surprised. It's a Cartoon Network Hanna-Barbera thing on Cartoon Network.
But it's weird. It's very adult.
It is.
It aired on Cartoon Network, not Adult Swim.
But that was before. I mean, Adult Swim. I don't think Adult Swim even existed in early 2001, right? I mean, no, it was November, but it wasn't we're talking Cartoon Network when Cartoon Network was 24-hour. Whatever we put on is fine. Cartoon Network.
Yeah, but it never got put on Adult Swim eventually either.
That's too. It's weird.
Just never.
No re-release.
It was just done forever.
Yeah. Very confusing. Maybe the question is, do people want to see such favorable characters in a state like this? I don't know, but it is still worth the fact that you put a lot of time and investment into it, and you should give it some release.
I guess favorable. I mean, in a way of again, the exposure. I don't know if they have any stuff from the 90s. They probably did have a couple of things in there. Because the most things I know about Flintstones that were of then modern Flintstones was, I remember there was a Dino cartoon for What a Cartoon.
Right.
There, Fruity, those commercials. I think that's everyone's exposure to them. It's most
right. No, but I mean, by the 90s, you're still talking about the reason why we're talking again. The 90s is Boomerang era. The 90s is people that were kids or adults, and they had the money to be able to go and get that cable package and spend the money to get that. Like, Flintstones was not a dead brand at all at that point. It wasn't even that it was necessarily just Fruity Pebbles that was fueling it. It was an incredibly synonymous thing. So the idea that you would not then, re-air it on a regular basis, or at least jump it over to Boomerang and have it re-aired on a regular basis is really surprising. I think that's the standard there. It's just very surprising.
Also, I guess the most recent big thing that had like a big budget. Again, like I mentioned it before, the Flintstones movie from Steven Spielberg.
No, of course, yeah, absolutely.
And also, there was a sequel that came out called Viva Rock of Ages that came out in 2000.
Okay,
which is before this. Which I think is before this movie.
Yeah, because again, 2001.
Yeah, 2001. And that was recent shit.
Yeah.
So but I mean, that should like a theatrical budget.
But that would have helped the moment. I would think that would have helped the moment. I just don't understand. Sure. It's a very weird situation for this. I think we'll learn in the future what's up with this at some point in time, or it'll fade to time and no one will ever know why or what. There's little known about even the production timetable of this thing.
The Flintstones,
that's the weird thing about this.
The Flintstones nowadays, after like what 2000, during
let's say after 2010.
Even before that, they're just more treated as like as brand mascots. Like they don't really have their own shows or anything. It's just like they're brand mascots. And like the most closest thing they're gonna have to like a new thing is besides those, like some cartoons nobody cares about here and there. Like again, there was like a Pebbles and Bam Bam cartoon, like just a few years ago. But they were really going to make like a new Flintstones, and it's going to be like show ran by Seth MacFarlane. He was going to make like a new Flintstones, and that was like I think a decade ago. He was working on that,
right? And
it got canceled. They were like working on that for a while. I guess like the scripts weren't interesting, so they just like that's why I didn't get off the ground. Which Family Guy
it might have been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, because it probably my imagination would be like Family Guy with the Flintstones. Yeah,
I mean, more probably Cleveland Show because they're not going to do a bunch of callbacks. They're not going to do a bunch of Family Guyisms. They're going to do more like we have less to work with, but we're going to lean into the creative stuff.
We're going to make a bunch of jokes referencing the old show, even though every other Robot Chicken and Family Guy themselves already done all that to hell and back.
Yeah,
so it's like
like you said, brand mascot and deeply irrelevant by 2010. I mean, I don't know if anyone really under our age, even our age itself, actually know what the fuck Flintstone is.
I think again because of the brand stuff, we know who Fred Flintstone is, and then parodies and stuff.
No, I don't think people know. I think they know that it's Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles. I don't think they know that that's Fred Flintstone. I think that's where we are. I think most people, most people under 30 right now do not know that that's Fred and Barney, and most of them just see Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles, and that's it.
They also showed up a couple times in like other cartoons, like they showed up in Fred Flintstone showed up in Billy and Mandy.
Yes,
he showed up in Johnny Bravo.
I didn't know that. I knew about
there was an episode, and he's a jerk in that. And of course, like the most recent one is like because every Hanna-Barbara character makes an appearance on it, is Jellystone.
Cool. All right.
And that was a fun episode too.
Cool beans. All right. On the other side of this,
but sorry, because as I mentioned, the show Jellystone, it's about Hanna-Barbera characters. Certain characters are off limits because they're still being used in branding, and I think they just got the clearance for some in like season 2, like late season 2 or season 3, for a episode. And it's like I know Scooby-Doo characters are off limits, so they couldn't really be regular characters. They can be referenced. I think they had a cameo in one episode, and that was it. Another one of those major characters was Fred Flintstone. The Flintstones characters couldn't really be used. So they couldn't be regulars or anything. They were referenced a lot, but they couldn't be used. But like they finally had like one episode. They got the clearance for one episode in season 3, and that goes to show like the Warner Brothers Corporation mentions that like they want to still secure the branding of Flintstones.
They want to secure the branding, but I don't know if they just. I don't know if they care. Like I know
they care if they were off limits, because that's the thing. That's because they said that in interviews. They were off before like season 3 happened.
I'm sorry, you're right. If they're not off limits, then obviously they would be fine to
all the Hanna-Barbera characters, they're up for grabs. They didn't give a shit who they use.
But
like Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones, they're off limits.
I don't know who they're holding the fort down for anymore because again, they're so culturally irrelevant at this point. Even if you were to make a movie about
them, probably had big plans for them for branding. Because same thing for
you could have said that 10 years ago, and here we are, 2025.
Oh, I mean, I guess now they're making that Flintstones CG movie. We'll see what happens. We'll report on that when that comes out, whenever that comes out, if it does come out. Fucking Warner Brothers.
Indeed.
But like a similar thing is like I think the team who was working on DuckTales 2017, they really wanted to use Chip and Dale, for an episode, have them a big part of an episode or two, and Disney said no, they're off limits. And then that's because they were working on something with them, and that thing turned out to be the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie for Disney Plus.
I definitely would have preferred them to be in DuckTales 2017.
They had a small cameo in an episode. They got that at least. Kind of again similar to what Jellystone got with the Scooby-Doo and Flintstones.
Fair.
It's a small cameo, but not a big part.
On the other side, we're going into the movie itself. It's the feature focus after this.
Coming up next, it's the Flintstones on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Hey, Fred, you're a big waist, hard-headed caveman. You got a dog named Dino. Your wife, Wilma, is always on your case. You got the ruffles in your face, and you're raising your voice all over the place. Flintstones will pet rock you. Flintstones will pet rock you. Flintstones will pet rock you. Flintstones will pet rock you.
Saturday morning at 7 on WB49.
Now, Billy and Mandy Mini Marathon. Then Magoozy with a Coleoco Marathon. Later, Fridays. This is Cartoon Network.
All right, and welcome back to the animation conversation. Finally, getting into the actual feature focus.
I don't know, what song or the name of the song or the name of the rapper. I remember I think I had a person, a coworker at work was listening to it.
Yeah.
One of the lyrics were like, "We're like Flintstones. I can make your bed rock." And there you go.
I've heard that.
Oh, you heard of it? Yeah.
That was that was such a popular song at some point.
There you go. That's Flintstones relevancy in the modern day.
Yes. Well, yes. Just to get to the bridge of a chorus, but yes, absolutely. Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention before we get into obviously the movie itself. I forgot to mention the other thing that's cool about the Flintstones itself is how incredibly imaginative it is for its portrayal of just daily life and the design of everything. Like, there's true ambition and concept here that it's not, again, you have to make these things, even though it's just, oh, what if we took the real world, we just put it in the past? Like, but there's a lot of consideration here that was not necessarily, you don't see in all cartoons, obviously, that come later on, but I do love how deeply imaginative it is with dinosaurs and with the pet dinosaur and with the home designs and the architecture and, the vehicles and all that. Like, it's like pretty cool.
Good concept. The same thing with the, because Hanna-Barbera was just all in that, creative shit, especially with the, the Jetsons or the, the Futurellis. I love that name from Channel 2.
Yeah.
Futurellis.
I'm trying to remember what the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles version was. It was like something mutant cows or whatever.
It was cows.
Yeah, it was something cows. I think in general what Flintstones on the Rock does pretty well is I think it's skilled at how great it captures the energy. It really does work with the framing well. It approaches the animation well for adapting the Flintstones into a modern iteration, but taking its own liberties here and there because obviously you can smooth things out. You can make things a lot more efficient.
Design and look wise, definitely get the idea of the Hanna-Barbera Flintstones down.
Yeah.
In terms of animation, it's it's definitely modernized to look like the type of animation used for Powerpuff Girls Dexter. It's a lot certain eras have just a common art style or like a common animation style, because like this era just had like, a lot of UPA style cartoons. The Dexter, Powerpuff Girls, like I just mentioned.
Yes.
Johnny Bravo had this kind of animation.
1000%.
Like a lot of these. And you go to like now we have like a lot of the shows that kind of, I don't know if Steven Universe started, but like
not anymore. That was more
what people call Cal Arts.
That was more late 2010s though. Now we're into this CG, cheap CG. Like you think about how Backyardigans got rebranded, like how most shows are leaning into that safe CG space that Coco Melon kind of started. You know what I mean? It's either you're going, like you said, toward Cal Arts, or you're going toward sort of this Coco Melon-esque inspiration for design. And it's a weird split. You know what I mean? If not Rick and Morty, where it's, noodle a bit.
You're talking about like CG for like cheap baby shows.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, because like
but you're just talking generally for. I went wide. You're just talking distinctly for what you'd find on a cable network at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I could see what you mean with the Cal Arts. Sorry, I literally, feels like we literally sucked a vacuum out of the momentum of whatever the fuck you were saying, because now it's
we got back
dead air. Yeah.
But like I always hate that.
I want to see how long.
I'm sorry. I just want to get this out of the way. Like, what really bothered me the most was like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Even though it was a baby show, it did bother me how like stiff on the expressions those like on the Disney characters are, and like also they made like they have like a 2025 like a remake of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse going on now, and it's like the animation is definitely touched up from the original, but like it's still has that stiff expression art, like CG art style.
Well, they were absolutely happy about like what if we remade the show that we literally spent a minor budget on, and then what if we could keep our budget low because we don't know, there's no expectation for high quality budget here.
Because like the first case I seen with these like Disney characters like in this CG like looking good is look up Disney's Twice Upon a Christmas. That special was like, it was the Disney characters all in CG, and like that looked good. And like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, like, oh, they're not expressive anymore because they were like they don't fuck around with squash and stretch on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I know it's a fucking baby show, but like they could have.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, there's no compare and contrast between the two. Yeah. Well, again, they didn't. There was. What can we get away with? What are we? It's the Rugrats when they did the CG thing for a second there, and then you had the Backyardigans today, which are way less intricate than their designs 20 years ago. Like, you see that all over the place. But getting back on track, I want to make sure we're getting back on track here.
What are we talking about?
On the Rocks does a really good job of adapting itself, and like you said, you can tell that it's from a time period where, again, this UPA style was obviously the inspiration, and you're at Cartoon Network Studios, Hanna-Barbera Studios, which is leaning in on that at that point in time. So you can tell, but it fits. I think it fits adapting the Flintstones into a modern day set, into not modern day, but producing it in that time period. If you get what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. But all right, let's actually let's get into the movie itself. So, yeah,
I love the cold opening of like Fred like they're you find out that like Fred and Wilma are like couples counseling.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, so it's starting off already let you know like, yeah, we're kind of just like treating the relationship, the 60s relationship in a modern context. And it's like, yeah, these two would have to go.
But they would still be going, right? Wouldn't they still be going in the past? I mean, that was a thing in the 60s, wasn't it? It was still a thing in the 60s, right? I mean,
oh no, just how problematic it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like it's like you said.
I'm not saying it's not like it wouldn't be a thing if you like.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, I am literally cutting every one of your topics at the knees. I will shut the fuck up because you are making a good point. It is a modern, like, how the therapist is like looking at them and how their relationship is approached. It's literally just a modern magnifying glass into the lifestyle of especially the early seasons of the Flintstones itself.
Because I'll say up front in this entire like movie, like Fred is insufferable, and he is not like that in the show 100%. Because like, of course, he is the main character. There's sometimes where he has like a heart and stuff. But like this movie for the purpose of like just it's kind of like meant to be like a parody of the show, where like they took like the worst traits of Fred. He does have those traits in like some of the original shows, and they just like bumped them up to 100.
Yes, he is way more irritable. He is way more, and I think that's because, simply they are out of step, right? Like they are, like that's, I think, why you can do that. I think that's why it's accepting that he's irritable, right? Like it's not like, oh, well, where did this come from? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, no, they're at couples counseling and they're at the edge here. So he's irritable because he's in a relationship where this shit isn't working, everything's out of step. So I think he's an asshole, and some of these things in the movie are completely unforgivable. But he's an asshole in the middle of a potential divorce situation or breakup, and anything where you're near a breakup and in a household where it's on edge is gonna amp up those energies. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, yeah. Yeah, in this little couples counseling session, like it's like, hey, Fred doesn't show Wilma any. Again, it's like you said, it's just analyzing what we see in the show in the first 2 seasons. It's like, do you see that often? No. Do you see this often? No. Do you see what happens in the show? How does it progress? Like it's just it's just literally that's what's being presented in front of you right now. It's a presentation of that. And again, Fred's downplaying Wilma's day-to-day at work. Wilma's unhappy with Fred's health. She doesn't like that he puts himself in danger with Barney. And then again, I love the introduction for the title sequence because he literally just sets her off. He implies that Wilma is not a natural redhead, and that just does it. And you get this amazingly paced action intro, like title sequence.
And like you get it, like the theme song will break into the lyrics like in certain moments.
Absolutely.
And like when in the final part of this opening sequence, you just get like, "We'll have a gay
Oh man, it's the juxtaposition.
That theme song is a classic, though.
Yes, it's the juxtaposition of that music in the middle of what is now quite literally domestic violence. Like it is a horrible juxtaposition, but it is literally like I do love though. There's like you can tell that like Wilma does like again because the whole point is they're not going to break them up, but like I like where they put these characters because Wilma's literally like she's not leaving him really. She's like she really wants this to work out, and she's like she says that, and like she's literally trying to knock some sense into him. As bad as that may sound.
Well, also you have to if you were treating this as canon, you have to know that this is going to work out. Because like through context clues, because they're not in your face about it, but through context clues, you can figure out like, oh, Pebbles and Bam Bam don't exist yet.
Oh yeah, no, this could be much earlier than the first season. This could be a day before the first season. Like who knows where we are, but what we do know is this is at some point in their relationship before obviously they have kids. So yeah, if you really contextually follow the road,
and Pebbles is probably like the bridge that keeps them together for like forever at that point.
And I don't know enough contextually to watch. I haven't watched season 3 or 4 to know, or 5 or 6 to know whether or not.
I don't remember shit, but like I vaguely remember like shit from the Flintstones.
What I saw when I notated for this. What I was that the Flintstones kind of leaned away from the more adult, mature energy and more into the sort of adventure Saturday morning-ish. Not all the way, but leaned a little toward that direction once the kids got involved.
Yeah, it was getting more popular with families more than just adults.
Gotcha.
So they just like changed the demographic.
Understood.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Add more gimmicks like the Great Kazoo and add the baby.
Right. Now, what we see after this, you get a fade out, fade in, and this has now affected Fred's entire function. Like he has a dysfunctional daily grind. Like, he's out of step. Well, we would see him at work. If you go and just watch a couple episodes of the show, you see how he's progressing through work. Work is where he feels like he's most zen for the most part outside of the home.
It's in the intro of the original show where he's fucking.
He's over there,
fucking
sliding
Tony Hawking down a dinosaur. Yep.
It's like he can't even get that right. He's so out of step.
So something I learned recently is Barney originally didn't work at the same job he did. He was just his neighbor that works at a completely different job. You only see him he's only his friend by convenience.
Right.
Later on, they would just kind of just make him his best friend. It wasn't until the Steven Spielberg movie where they just kind of they make him. I'm gonna keep saying Steven Spielberg because you'll know the movie I'm talking about. That way.
Understood.
He works the same job he does, and it's okay. Well, I guess this movie. I mean this. This movie just took inspiration from that live action one.
Through the entire run of the original Flintstones, he's not at the same job?
Apparently not.
Huh.
And also another thing about him, you notice his voice is definitely different from the Fruity Pebble commercials, I'm going to say, because I don't remember the original show much. It was I know he sounds more, hey Fred, more like this, and the show from my memory. And it's no, the way he sounds is the way he sounded in season 1 and 2 until I think Mel Blanc changed it later on, and that's why Barney, if you look the Barney we know, from the later seasons of the show and the Fruity Pebble commercials, I'm gonna get Fred's cereal.
Yep.
He changed it that later on, but I guess because it's meant to be earlier in the timeline, especially before Pebbles and Bam Bam, they're trying to make it feel that way by giving Barney his old voice.
Understood.
So that's why he sounds. Do you remember how Barney sounds in the Fruity Pebble commercials and stuff?
Oh no, not at all, Mark. I haven't seen a Fruity Pebbles commercial probably in 15 years of this.
Yeah, have you seen Flintstones parodies? Do you know the way Barney sounds?
Yeah.
He sounds like this, Fred. Hey, Fred, what we're gonna do today?
It's very impressionable at that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he sounds completely different in this. Yeah.
Yes, 1,000%.
But that was on purpose.
Gotcha. I'm going to be honest. What's funny is because I watched only a couple of season 1 and season 2, and it's this fits much more into that, and that makes sense. But I haven't watched beyond 3. I haven't watched anything after that, and I don't remember.
Oh, you went back to watch some Flintstones?
Yeah, before just to get context of once I saw that again, this sequence here where he's at work and he's out of step, I needed to see by comparison what did it seem like energy wise. What does he seem like energy wise? Walking around day to day, any episode, and just I didn't spend a lot of time on it because again, it's even when you're trying to centrally watch it in the present, it kind of becomes background. It's not that I don't want to hate the show, but it's a series where you're watching an episode and you just find yourself unfocused a little. You just find yourself.
That was me as a kid, and that was me with a bunch of shows, especially with all that fucking sitcom bullshit Disney Channel had.
Yes,
just I'm just here.
That's very background material, absolutely. But yeah, we see that he ends up. He's clearly impacted by the couples counseling, and then on top of that, his out of step energy becomes aggression once his boss, Mr. Slate, literally just gives Barney a promotion.
That's a fuck you, because he's I know how much you wanted the promotion,
but
so I gave it to Barney, and it's not that that Barney got it because of his good merits or anything, or he would call Barney in. He called in specifically Fred just to say, I know how much you wanted it. You're not getting it. I'm giving it to Barney. Fuck you.
that
was kind of funny too.
It is. No, it's hilarious.
That just tells you his boss really doesn't like Fred.
His boss, clearly. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I think also, Barney is his nephew.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Okay. Well, again, these are things I'm learning on the fly right now. So, the more you have, the better. I like that you're literally.
I found out through looking up shit. But
you're sprinkling this shit every couple of minutes, and that's good. I like this. It's getting the audience involved in understanding this stuff.
I don't know if that plays in anything in any shows or other medias, but he's a nephew.
Yeah. So he is pissed, and he's so pissed that his apparent nephew is just casually like he's cheering, he's happy, he's got this promotion, and he's talking about, man, all the money we're gonna have, and Fred's like, he's pissed. He's like, how the does my nephew have this good money in this promotion, and I'm just shut up, So he goes and he gets back home, and unfortunately, there's dysfunction. But that work dysfunction is nothing like the home dysfunction. I mean, it is sterile. It is lifeless. It's not necessarily entirely loveless. I mean, Wilma still gives Fred a steak for dinner, but there's nothing there in terms of chemistry.
Not gonna say it's loveless. They're just trying.
They're trying
to find a love.
Fred is just existing. I don't. Again, Fred is clearly like more of an antagonizing force here in this movie, but I don't feel it with Fred at all. I don't see it with Fred at all. I see it with Wilma.
I think you would know this better than me. I'm asexual. I don't have much relationship experience.
Well, no, it's not. It's not the relationship. It's just that when he walks in, he walks in. He doesn't say it. He walks back to the dining room. He's like waiting for his dinner. Like that's it. He's not really showing love. He's just kind of walking in, and there, walking back to the dining room. Boom, and just because she has a steak ready for Fred for dinner. I do say again, I don't know contextually what has been shown and what hasn't been shown in the Flintstones. Again, talking about sort of unique ideas, I do like that we see Wilma like ironing with hot coals to warm the iron, so the iron's sitting on top of the hot coals, and then
I didn't realize that mechanic.
It's like it's a funny like why not like I don't know if that's new or not, but I like the idea. Yeah. But they're both, by the way, they're so crabby at each other. Like they're just so crabby that like they're both equally upset when the door rings. Like they're both equally upset when the door rings, and they're both equally upset when they forget their own anniversary. I mean, and
it's a perfect contrast to show like Barney and Betty had like the perfect relationship.
Yes.
Meanwhile, they're like Fred and Velma are going through it.
Yeah, like their relationship is so good that they remember their friend's relationship.
Yes, they remember their friend's anniversary.
Yeah, it's insane. It's not insane, but it's like it's just you get the juxtaposition there. Before the anger tops everything, like Barney proclaims that the two couples, like both of them, are actually going to go on a trip to Acapulco, which is a resort destination.
Also, like I forgot to mention, another bit of Flintstones relevancy is they are very popular when it comes to memes. So
are they still?
Yes, they are very much.
Where?
Let me explain their meme. It's mostly the Flintstones theme song, because there was a streamer called Vinny, and he was streaming like bootleg games, and one was a bootleg of Mario 3 called Granddad. And he was like, Granddad, and it was just playing. It was like the Mario Brothers like 3 tile screen, but like it was like the colors were off, and it was playing the Flintstones music. And there's another a YouTuber called Silver Gunner, and what his deal is he uploads like video game music, but it's always messed up in some way.
Just like off key here and there.
Or he will mess with it, like the Open Your Heart song is like dun dun rain and lightning, dun dun rain and lightning, and it just kept going, and it's like dun dun rain and lightning, it sucks.
That's so stupid. That's just like
or it's like the Delfino Plaza like song. It's just like do 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 do. Like the original song is like do 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 do. But like in Silver Gunner's like messed up upload version, he just goes like do 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 do, and it just goes like that for like fucking 5 minutes, and it just drives you. So, but like a constant joke he uses in his like music, and it's become more of a motif, an expected motif now. Okay. Is the Flintstones song. He'll work the Flintstones song into like a lot of things.
Awesome.
And it's like you'll listen to like a song from Mario, like from Mario Galaxy. You try and listen to Mario Galaxy soundtrack, his versions of it, and you just hear. Yeah, or like a Sonic song or something like that, or like a video game. You just hear and like the Flintstones song is just constantly worked into like memes and stuff.
From that creator.
Yeah, from that creator, or other creators just like started doing it too.
Gotcha.
So the Flintstones song is just unanimous
in
with that meme
and that subsection.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so interesting when you think about the internet and like you go. That just reminds me of like anywhere on YouTube or Twitch where like you'll have your own like we both have like hundreds of subscriptions for like some YouTubers, and then you'll figure out like someone else will tell you, hey, have you heard about this YouTuber? And like that YouTuber will have like 12 million subscribers. You're like, I've never fucking heard of this guy. Ah, okay.
But then someone was like, "Wait, hold on. That sounds like. Wait, let me fix it."
Ah, yeah.
There we go. It's like because it sounds too close to the Flintstones. So it was like, no, it has to sound like the Flintstones now.
That's like one of those copy your homework. I'm also doing an animated sitcom. It's not Hanna-Barbara. It's Bana Harhara. Like that's the type of theme right there. The first one, yeah. But yeah, the more you know.
Yeah.
Nice. Good to know at least that there's some relevance here and there because again, personally, from my eyes, like I've literally, it's dead and buried. But
that in between, you also hear voice clips of Vinny. Sometimes it's like because you just hear Granddad Flintstones.
Stupid. So stupid. All right, so back on track here. All right, now that was a great tangent, by the way. Now as they're loading up, because again, obviously they're not going to pass on this opportunity. Before they're even leaving, Fred shows his ego a little bit, like even more so than he already fucking did. I mean, as they're putting their stuff together, I mean, Barney's, he's trying to neatly find a way to make this work, and Fred's like, "Fuck it, I got it." And he only designed it for himself to get in the car. Like it's like, how did you even? Are you that in your own head right now that you didn't even consider that other people are in the car with you?
And like throughout this, Barney is just so nice. He was like, "We'll just go in the back."
Yep. I mean, not a bad thing. I mean, you got your wife right there. You can just kind of have a good time. All right, we took a brief tangent and started talking about the Hulk, which is not part of Cartoon Chat. Flintstones on the Rocks.
That's a new top. We're derailing. All right, so back on Avengers.
The whole podcast is just called derailing at this point. It's not even a fucking podcast. It is just derailing the podcast.
That is probably the name of a podcast, the Derail.
Yes. Talking about derailing, Fred now is driving with his wife next to him, and Barney and his wife, and they're sitting in the back, and wife sitting beside him, and he's driving, and he's the only one in control there. And they're on their way, obviously, to Rockapolka, and something catches his eye. In fact, it's a mysterious woman, and she's driving in a nice fast car. She's got herself looking really pretty. I mean, the only thing that's noticeable about her is, she's curvy and her mouth is open. So, but apparently that's like super attractive. And he's just like super infatuated with her. She
got it going on.
Yes, so much so that he literally goes into a lustful dream. Like, he literally goes straight into a lustful dream.
A wet dream.
It's a wet dream. I was sure I was using different wording because, wet dream, but lustful dream, wet dream. Now, this obviously, again, we brought up Screen Novelties before. They are the team that animated, so we were saying that this was Boomerang-esque. It is not. They did not animate the Boomerang bumpers. But they did animate Robot Chicken, and they did do Moral Oral. So that's the team that would later go on to do that in the next couple of years.
It still does give off the energy, though.
It does, absolutely.
But what I like about the sequence is because it's about like the two couples, married couples going on a vacation.
Yes,
I guess they couldn't really work in because one of the most iconic things of the Flintstones is Fred Flintstone bowling technique, where he goes on his tippy toes, you get the little, and he just like throws it, and it's like there was no scene where they couldn't work that in. So it's like, okay, we'll just make it a dream sequence. And it's that works.
No, they did at the end. But
They did. It came back. But like, it's just so I guess it doesn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
You get the idea that like, he's
for
good at bowling. He loves bowling. He's
see him do that first, and then later on it comes back for an attempt at heroics.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this brief short here, stop motion animated short. It shows Fred. He's perceiving himself as the macho man. He's using what he loves, which is his bowling skills, to win a game, get accolades, and get the press perceptibly cheering, and get the mysterious woman in his arms. This is his own little slice of fame and fortune. And he wakes up from his lustful dream, and he has had quite the detour. And everyone's looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing, buddy?
Fred, did you just cream your robe? What the fuck, man?
Why have this boner? Get the fuck back on the wheel. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? My God. But I guess he got the dinosaur happy that he ended up landing on. That dinosaur, I think, winked at him or whatever. So, happy day for the dinosaur. Anyway, they arrive at Rocco Poco. And I'll tell you what, Fred is not helping himself out here. Like, look, okay, I think, here's my excuse. He is so far out of his element, and things are literally so far out of lockstep for him, that he's just pissed that it's not the typical hotel he's expecting. Because the next shit that comes out of his mouth is extremely racist. I mean, it is like, it's like all the words are gibberish. This shit is bad. Like
that's one of the reasons this movie can't come back. It's just like not. It's of the times. Yes. He even calls himself out at some point. He even calls himself, I'm Roxican. Oh gee.
It is like because he's already been an asshole the entire movie. It's different, but it was almost when we first saw this. Like the reason it was funny is it was like out of the blue, but it wasn't as big of a shock, but almost like it reminded me of Jim Carrey in Sonic 3. A woman in the military? Like in 2025, that shit was amazing. I mean, you just don't, excuse me? Holy fuck. Are you kidding me? You're putting this in a movie. Okay, all right. But yeah, he calls this, he said...
backwards.
He is pissed to learn. Once he learns that it's a Spanish-speaking city, he considers it backwards. Now we see we
have this time killer sequence where they're just ringing the bird.
Yeah, we're about to get there. Simultaneously, as they're getting to their hotel, we see our first look at Xavier, the jewel thief. He is now actually doing that. He is getting those jewels. He is thieving at the moment.
This has most of that Powerpuff Girls Dexter
yes
animation. The way this guy moves, it's and the sound effects they use for those cartoons are definitely more emphasized here too.
Absolutely.
And it's this whole movie. It's if you're watching Dexter and this was an interstitial. I mean, it'd be a long ass interstitial. It'd be just fits right in.
It really does. It fits for Cartoon Network at the time, which, like you said, most of its original cartoons were doing that. So but it has, like you said, the mannerisms, the sound design, and again, the animation. All right. Now. Again, as the theft is happening over there, actually at the arrival of the hotel in the reception area, you get this overly long joke of the assistant bell not being answered. The receptionist, he fucking just, as some receptionists do in sort of a careless fashion, he just kind of drops himself up. Yeah, what do you want, basically, And again, Fred not helping himself out here. He's like, my superior mind understands this backward language. I mean, he is killing it. And I know the whole joke is this guy's a moron, but it is funny as hell. This is horrible. But
he has that that old cartoon stereotype of I guess Spanish speaking people where they talk like Slowpoke Rodriguez from the Looney Tunes, where
yes,
sí, señor.
Yes,
sí, señor. I hear you, señor.
Why doesn't it get a re-release again? Simultaneously, Xavier runs into the hotel. He's trying to escape, getting caught by police. The two, obviously the couples, and Xavier, the jewel thief, they end up converging in a hallway. And now Xavier runs into, my God, what does he run? He doesn't run into Fred, but Fred ends up like blaming his wife on this. And it's like, dude, no, he runs into Wilma, and it's like, okay, so Fred should be mad at the jewel thief, but instead he blames it on Wilma, and he's like, yeah, she's in the fucking way. It's her fault. This moron, this idiot, she doesn't know what she's doing.
Well, he's even more of a dick because like he's even fucking with the guy he just met, where he's like, dude, because like you get what's about to happen. It's like, oh fuck,
identical bags.
You can see it before it happens, where it's like identical bags. He's gonna eventually bump into Wilma, but it's like, oh no, she probably had the right bag even after she bumped into him. Fred is just fucking with him and just like, hey, like, because I think they're subverting expectations, but like, because you know what was gonna happen, so they're just playing around with you, like, hey, it'd be weird if these bags switched up, huh? Which one is yours?
It's like, he pushed.
So he's actually causing it.
He literally causes it. Yes, it's not just inadvertent. They was switch up. No, he is the one that sets everything in motion. And he's having fun with it. I mean, he's giggling. He's having a great time with it. And obviously at that point the bags do get switched. They get into
and they're not and they're like, none of them are checking to make sure it's the right one either.
They don't immediately, but they almost immediately do, because literally once Xavier escapes from the hotel, he looks out and he's like, wait a minute, holy shit, I have the wrong bag.
I know, they would immediately do that.
Yeah,
because like I understand if they bump into each other, they just pick up their shit. But like after Fred did that, I wouldn't trust Fred. I'm like, did this asshole just like make sure I have the right bag?
1,000%. Yeah, I think like Fred does a lot that is questionable. One of the things that's also questionable from Fred is our entire core cast. I mean, again, Wilma, Barney, Betty, they're all happy. They're exploring at least we see Wilma and Betty. Wilma and Barney. They're exploring their hotel room. They're like, oh, this shit's cool. Look at this. Isn't that nice? I mean, fucking Wilma is over here having a great time overlooking the view, and fucking Fred, like a Scrooge, is like, bitch, why do you have the window open? What's wrong with you? I'm trying to relax, and you are fucking my life up.
I don't want anybody looking in, but that doesn't mean, and like one was like, that doesn't mean that means I don't have to look out? What?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, dude, just the fact that like he keeps pushing this energy so much, he's just like dialing it worse. Like it's every step.
And also, Barney paid for the whole thing, yet he's still being a jerk to him. And Wilma's just pointing that out constantly. Yep. Exactly. And he's like, he's trying to show Barney's trying to show Fred like how this rumble bed works, and Fred's like, well, I have a core, like you put a core in, you want to show us, like, but Fred, I paid for the whole thing.
Wild. And again, like Barney's just over here, hey, like just pushes away every possible chance. You know who else he pushes away at any chance? Wilma. And I mean, like, what are we doing? And what are we doing? I mean, your wife. She
looks like a baddie. Like this.
So one of the things that, again, the Flintstones original series just does not do is we don't ever see this variant of Wilma at all. At least I haven't seen the entire series, but I don't think we've ever seen this. And so it's like she's going all out to like, hey, and maybe this will like, spruce up some action. And this dude only wants the TV. He's so fucking not. I
thought he got his attention, but like, no, he's just trying to go.
He is just trying to look at the television. That is his whole thing. That's all he wants. And like now we do see later, by the way, just in a compare contrast, we do see later that Wilma doesn't like find Fred attractive, even though he does those swim trunks later. So like even when he tries Not that those were nice swim trunks at all, but when he tries, she's like, nah, not interested. I don't give a fuck. Not really noticeable. But, I mean, Wilma, I mean, you know, we saw the picture here. 10 out of 10.
I mean, she doesn't go anywhere else looking like that either. She probably would have got a couple looks.
Yes. I mean, well, you know, I know Xavier was faking, but I mean, you know.
After this scene, she just, like, keeps her hair up.
Yes, it's back to as it was. But, yeah, and then, by the way, after that, they have to listen to the Rubbles making their, you know, with their bed on, basically, obviously, whatever, doing whatever in their bed. So it's just not helping. Like this
okay, so I like, that's clever. They establish like the bed is Rumble, and they like have a scene where they show the mechanics, just so they can hide what they're actually doing the next scene.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because like some audience can assume they're just playing around with the Rumble bed, but if you know,
exactly, yeah. Yeah, so they ended their first night.
I also love the sounds they're making. Whoa!
Yeah, it was so stupid. Yes. It's so stupid. So stupid. The next morning, by the way, I should have said this earlier. Fred, because of his weight, has to take the stairs every time they go up and down the elevator. Now, the next morning, Xavier sneaks his way into the Flintstones room because he's looking for that jewel that he lost way back the previous night during the bag switch up. Instead, he ends up with way more than he ever would have wanted. You know, a little lower. Whoop, too low. And he looks at his hand and runs off. Like, oh dear Lord,
just such as junk.
Sorry, bud. You know, a little too low. So everything apparently was good for Fred. Like, this is how the energy of Fred at this point. And again, like, if you're at this point in the relationship where, because, you know, like, I think any relationship, hopefully not every relationship has been at this point, but if you're at the point of the relationship where any little thing just feels like, now I just don't fucking, I'm not vibing with you for the whole day, then get the fuck out of the relationship. Like, you know, but, you know, Wilma asks Fred to get her purse because she left it. Fred's like, holy shit, you're ruining my whole fucking day. What's wrong with you? You stupid bitch. Like, that's basically his energy. And it's like, Jesus
You left it by the door.
Like,
no, I didn't. That's where it was.
It's crazy. At the lobby, thankfully for Fred, he gets to see this mysterious woman again. I mean, that's all he wanted. You know, he gets to see this lustful dream of his. He gets to see the same woman again, this time at the bar. And he kind of just sits there, I guess. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't make any moves. He just kind of sits there because they're getting ready for everyone else in the group. Both couples are getting ready for the sightseeing and adventure quest. And he's kind of just lagging behind because I guess he must have stared at her for way too long. You know, so very, very weird morning for everyone involved. We end up getting, obviously, this montage of an adventure. Obviously, Barney's having a great time.
Yeah. Barney and Betty.
Betty's having a great time.
They're loving each other, sharing, they're holding each other, they're riding bikes together. Meanwhile, you get the complete contrast of how the relationship dynamics are between, like, Fred and Velma compared to those two. Velma. Fucking Velma from Scooby-Doo. Like, compare those two, and, like, Fred is just an asshole.
Fred is... So, here's the thing. What I found was, like, okay, not all of it is Fred's fault. Like, you have, again, if he's nervous about bridges over lava, respectable. Like, okay, that's fine. Like, yeah, I wouldn't... But it's the compounding of everything else he's fucked up with that makes everyone upset.
And the way they're eating tacos is like, Fred is
he took her fucking yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And on top of that, then you got the, like, for instance, again, the Love Boat thing, like, that's nice. And he can't handle it. It's like, okay, like, fine. But it's the compounding of everything else. It's the fact that, like, he doesn't try to bike at all. It's just Wilma doing all the biking. And he's just like, yeah, so who gives a fuck? You know, like, it got so bad. Like, no joke, it's so bad that even Xavier's like, he's looking at, like, Fred, like, Jesus fucking Christ, this guy is horrible. Like, this guy sucks. What's wrong with it? Like, he's like invested, like, he's like, Jesus, like, I'm trying to find the right time, but feeling sorry for this guy.
That's probably why his plan goes in the action, because he's like, oh, this couple ain't gonna last at all.
Right.
I can just like fucking get between that.
But he doesn't even look like, he's not even like, man, I'm ready to do this. He's more like feeling sorry for the fact, like, this shit looks awful. So, the two ladies branch off. Barney hangs with Fred in a moment where they kind of separate there, and
that part bothered me because like the only moment Fred can possibly become redeemable, he just says it to some stranger when he thinks it's Barney, and then Barney comes back like he doesn't hear it at all, and it's like, I mean, after all that, I mean, Barney deserves to hear that speech, but like,
I like it. I was mad. I was like, damn, but I was also like thinking, if this is a part of the obviously canon, or whether or not it's canon or not, like in a hypothetical world where it is canon, obviously he never does do this. He never goes out and says this to Barney ever,
with the exception of the Steven Spielberg movie,
right? But like that's even further out from relevance. Yeah. So like in that situation, like you would not. I feel you though. Like I would. It's a beautiful moment because it's like, man, like here's a guy that's clearly holding everything in. Clearly holding the stress of this relationship fracture in, holding the stress of how he feels about everything. He's ticked off at everything, how he approaches himself and life and all that. He has this one moment, and it's not even his friend. But he won't know that, and he will never know that. And it's like, damn, that sucks. But it's not horrible, but it is like a big, like, damn, that sucks. So it's an honest moment, but it's an honest moment that the audience gets, but Barney does not get, even though, like you said, he deserves it.
Yeah. It does nothing for any of the characters. You just know that Fred could have said something to them.
It does something for... Fred gets to alleviate that, whether or not he feels like Barney interpreted it. At least he got to...
But then he goes back into jerk mode, because like, I already said the thing for you.
Well, I feel like that would always be the case, right? I mean, very much like a Helga situation where, she kind of like, I'm kind of, and then no, as much as...
She never admit, like, only in the,
Sorry, I've read too many fucking everyone...
She only admits it in the last Hey Arnold movie, which is the Jungle movie. She does admit it in the first Hey Arnold movie, but because they were doing more episodes and it wasn't the end of the show, what the bullshit they pulled is like, I was just joking. I was like, fuck you guys. But like, the movie was about, it's finally gonna come out. Helga is gonna confess to Arnold, and he does, and she does. But then by the end of the movie, she's like, no, I was just joking.
Was it a just joking in a serious I'm just joking, or in a... Was there clear... Because I haven't seen that movie in years.
Oh, no, it was to tell Arnold. No, because Helga's always been madly in love with Arnold. But like,
of course,
to tell Arnold, because Arnold is like still oblivious to the fact that Helga loves her.
Yeah,
so Helga loves him. And it's like, she just tells Arnold like, oh no, I was joking. To hide the fact that she still loves him.
Exactly.
And like she doesn't come out until the actual ending of the Hey Arnold movie. The last the Jungle one, the Netflix exclusive one.
Oh, geez, okay. We're talking. Oh my god, the Netflix one.
I mean, well, they were planning to make the Jungle movie for years, and the creator was never able to get it.
Right, but I mean, at that point, we're talking about obviously a decade plus beyond.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 decades plus beyond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, the last episode of Hey, this is on a tangent, like, the last episode of Hey Arnold does end off at a cliffhanger that the creator wanted to, like, follow up on, but, like, he never did until that 2020, like, 2021 too, or whatever.
Yeah, I was late. Yeah, I mean, obviously,
or it was 2019 or something. Like, that Netflix movie, he doesn't follow up on that last episode until that Netflix movie.
Way, far in the future.
Because also, I've watched a Netflix movie, it continues right off from that last episode.
That's beautiful.
Because, like, the last episode was like, hey, Grandpa, I found the map! And it just, like that same dialogue in the first minute of that Jungle movie. Grandpa, I found the map! Right off.
I will say that's way better than, starting from a whole different worldview, especially if it's on a cliffhanger.
Now,
imagine if Spider-Verse 2...
I do love the show, though.
Imagine if Spider-Verse 3, Beyond Spider-Verse, starts off like 5 years later, and you're like, what the fuck are we doing?
If we do co hanger on, it's going to be the show. The movies I wasn't too big on.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Just pick a few episodes, run from there. Yeah, of course. Hey Arnold's worth it. Hey Arnold is very worth it.
What the fuck is a Flintstone?
So, okay. After that moment there, that Fred got to spill all of this out, after this honest moment, Fred and Barney spot Wilma and Betty shopping. And they were like, oh my God, there's no way they're shopping. How dare they shop? And Fred's pretty pissed. And in his arrogance, because he's back to being his arrogant self, he's like, man, you better realize how to haggle. These people are charging way much. He doesn't know how much like something.
Oh yeah, but like this is also like commenting on like the 60 mentality of like sitcom families, where it's like the wife is stay at home and the husband does all the work, but
Yes.
like the wife, well, when she goes shopping, she'll spend all the husband's money.
Yes.
Even the Jetsons make.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
The Jetsons make comment on that in the intro, which the Family Guy has a funny skit.
We'll never forget the Family Guy.
Bull.
Hey.
Bullshit.
10 out of 10 on that one. Yeah. But that was the play. Yeah, absolutely. That's where that's leaning around. And it is just, again, even in context of 2001, let alone 2025, you listen to this and he's, next time you get your allowance, you better fucking understand that, you don't just spend your man's money like that. Next time you build up a little allowance, have a little fucking respect for the money that you get in this fucking place. Like, that's some bold, so he tries to do this haggling crap over to not realizing that it's a tourist trap. They're not going to fucking haggle. It's a tourist trap. And he doesn't speak the fucking language. So how the fuck is he going to haggle and not know the language at all? And then he looks like a fucking joker anyway. He doesn't get his haggling price first. Twice.
He thinks he knows it.
He thinks he knows it, and he fucks the whole thing up. In fact, he makes such a scene.
Like, my favorite dialogue is like, Fred keeps saying something to this one guy, and he's like, gay.
Gay.
He just keeps saying, gay.
Yeah.
Gay.
In fact, he makes such a scene that everyone shuts down. And he throws their whatever they bought out. He throws it up, and he just like, gets it all. They paid for it already. Like, he just throws it out, get rid of it, and like just throws it out. Takes Barney's hair, rips it off. They took a part of it, and then they just go straight back. No, they don't even get to go straight back home, because the next time we see them before the jewel, obviously that's in this frame here, we hear that not only was he an embarrassment, but Wilma had to bail Fred out of jail.
Yeah, he got arrested.
And it's like, Jesus, buddy, you're really making yourself a name for yourself.
At that point, that's when it's over. She's about to like. Yeah, she was there, but she's about to just get out of there.
I
called her bags.
Yeah, I called this little fragment here, this the sequence or scene here. It's relationship salvation, because that's what it was. Like, in this moment where it nearly severed the relationship. Truly. Wilma, she sees this jewel from the swap bag. She thinks it's a gift from Fred, and it changes her entire perception of his actions. Like, like that whole energy shifts, because it goes from a complete direction to a 180 entirely. Because again, that perception is the other way around. Barney, he tells Barney, and he's like, "Bro, shut the fuck up! Don't." They can hear us. Do not tell her, because this shit will end. And, so that night, they end up going to dinner. And, Wilma is just excited. She's happy. She's stunned, and she shows off this jewelry in front of everyone. And suddenly, she's just infatuated with Fred in the moment, I guess, because of it also shows, again, the whole 60s mentality, not just on the male side, but that whole perception on the female side, or what pop culture and what the Flintstones led on to and was themed around, which is, well, you give them something nice, you give them some fucking, it's parodying off that, basically, where it's like, you give them some money, you give them some fucking jewelry, and you go to sleep with them. Yeah, no problem, they'll be horny for you immediately. You just give them some fucking jewelry, and oh my God, like, because, like, the whole idea is fucking hilarious as a concept. Like, you get some jewelry, and then out of the blue, boom. And then, like, they just seductively eat, which is just stupidly, like, it's It's very stupid but funny. To the point where Fred chokes.
Oh yeah,
but
they're still eating like cavemen too.
They're eating like cavemen too, which fits, and it kind of gives you that perception of like, oh, they are made for each other. Like in that moment, you're kind of like at their core. Okay, in that moment, at their core, like that they're made for. In that moment, it's up until that point, you're like, what the fuck is going on? But in that moment where you have this like real chemistry between each other, it's like, oh yeah, I can see that. Okay, all right. Xavier spots that Wilma has started, he started wearing it now. So now it's like, all right, it's not just in a bag. Now it's like, all right, I've got to get this off.
Oh, sorry, just
go ahead.
Like, also, Barney's pretty pissed at Fred.
Barney almost literally announces it at the dinner table, and Fred's like, bitch, you better not, stomps his foot, and is like, dude, what is wrong with you? Don't even try it. What are you talking about? You just had a whole night with your wife making those noises. Ah! Like, what are we talking about? Sounding like Woody the Woodpecker all night, like, no. But yeah, Xavier spots that Wilma started wearing the jewel. He has to get that off her now. Immediately following, Fred has Fred and Wilma, they have an intimate evening after that, and again, going back to that same concept where, again, like, these are paper thin parody, not parodies, but like just showing how stupid the concept is. But Betty immediately becomes jealous of Wilma. Like, after a whole trip, like, they're on top of it. Like, they are in a relationship state that is much better and much healthier than Fred and Wilma's. Betty immediately is like, bro, I mean, this is great and all, but where the fuck's my jewelry? And so, where's my stuff?
Yeah, now it's seen as like it's sort of disorienting their relationship, like them getting together.
Yeah, it's like, it's disorienting, but it's like, again, back to that play of, the capitalistic drive of, well, you've got to get something, I've got to get something, you've got to get something, I've got to get something. It's saying a lot, and I like where the movie kind of takes itself on that. Pause one moment. So the next day, they're sitting poolside. You have, the ladies are sitting poolside. They're having a nice time, just, sunbathing in the beautiful, what is it, Mexican? It was a Spanish country, Spanish-speaking city. They're bathing in this resort, and suddenly, Fred and Barney, they come back with these very unique outfits. I mean, very unique swimming trunks. Dare I say, they're not trunks at all. And
like thongs.
They're almost thongs, pretty much. And everyone's disgusted. The wives don't want to see this shit. Children don't want to see this. The parents of the children are disturbed. Any adult in location is disturbed. Everyone's like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? And again, they're vibing. They're like, hey, we're at the swimming pool. I don't have a complaint here, outside of the fact that I wouldn't want to see it. But, it's like, I don't have a complaint because, like, everyone's kind of in a satisfactory state right now. No one's really upset necessarily. Everyone's fine. And Xavier shows up to obviously do his plan. But again, I like where everyone is at this point. You know what I mean? Like, Barney's not as aggressively upset anymore about the jewel at this point either. That's all kind of subsided. So we're at a point that is, for the first time in the entire movie, neutral. Kind of like, oh, okay, both relationships are in a neutral to good space at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one guy almost has like a George Jetson looking face.
The one guy barf.
Put it on screen.
The one guy throwing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't he? That's why I took. Yeah. Oh no. You guys saw nothing. All right. Just a little sign of our great operation we've got here. All right. Now, again, they're all in their own shape. It's look. One moment here. No, okay. Let me go. Here we go. Back to the point. It is crazy though that, like, again, Betty's relationship is apparently perfect or whatever for the most part, and she's the first one that's like, holy shit, what a hot guy for Xavier. Even though Xavier's obviously doing the look toward obviously Wilma instead, and it's like, but she's like, again, if I'm not mistaken, like, what, like, Barney's in shape. Like, when I'm looking at this picture, Barney's pretty much in shape by comparison.
In terms of this world, they're both like oddly shaped men.
Right.
Fred is just very round, while Barney's just like very
short. Yeah,
and like square.
Fair. Meanwhile, again, Xavier's like again perfectly proportioned, so I guess that's why Betty's like, oh my god, perfect. But again, Wilma's again, she's like, again, what's interesting here is you wonder what would have happened if the jewel was not, but the jewel, then he wouldn't have cared. So it's like the jewel plays such a pivotal point to this movie. It's very fascinating. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if the jewel was not in Wilma's arms or on her neck, then he's not going after Wilma at all. And then this doesn't happen. But without the jewel at all, this relationship doesn't work either. So it's a weird, like, I do like this puzzle piece that's kind of placed here. Fred obviously comes back home because he's gotten sunburn. He did not put on sunscreen.
This is one of my favorite scenes artistically because it's just like so. It's so weird to look at where it's Fred's face is in the front and meanwhile his like body's just a blob, but it's like very round while like Velma is like just like rubbing it.
Like just his proportions are kind of like the yeah.
Like his proportions are very artsy in that scene.
Yes. Like I believe I have the is it not? I don't have the other sequence, but then you have the one shot where she leaves. Let me go back to this shot here. There's a shot where she leaves, and you get another angle of him where it's his head, and you see his round body. Like again, everywhere. Like anytime you get him when he's laying down, it's like such a unique look.
And it sounds like he's about to he's about to ejaculate from like the lotion.
From the lotion, yeah, absolutely. After that lotion, though,
ointment.
Yeah, moment there. Wilma gets a letter from Xavier, or a stone message from Xavier, and he's like, "Hey, I like you a lot. Let's talk." And she takes him up on the offer, but not in the way that you thought. Like, she does get all dressed up, and it is like, you're like, okay, this is interesting. He's getting dressed up, looking very nice, but at first, she's very much on the defensive. And that is very respectful, and that is very nice, where it's like, yeah, I'm still, again, the whole time, she's still like, I'm not going any further than, like, meeting with you. But, like, I'm not going any further than marrying you, but let me hear you out, basically. And she is, like, very upset. Like, again, this first interaction, it's like, how do you know my name? How do you know my, room number? How do you know all this information? Get the fuck out of here. Like, you are not you are disturbing. And as they're talking and going on, like, again, Fred finally gets up because he passes on this dance, which is why she takes Xavier up on the offer. And Fred actually sees this, and he's like, Jesus Christ, like, all right, I guess I really did fuck up, and he looks really somber, but, no one would feel bad for Wilma doing this, because, I mean, he's been an asshole the entire time, and the only...
Fred deserves this.
Yes.
Pause real quick.
Yeah, but no one would be... Is this recording? Is it recording? Is it... The water bottle's in the way, I can't tell. Could you move your water bottle slightly?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay, cool. Because the sun... the weather report slightly lower than the record button is like... It gave the impression like it was still paused. Anyway... No one would be... Like we said, no one would be like... There's no... The woman's not really at fault. She is married, but it's like he is such a dirtbag, not only in throughout this movie, and to a point where, again, we start the movie in a marriage counseling office. So it has been cascading to this point, and she finally gets this moment, and she still is super respectful of Fred. In fact, again, like, he doesn't see it, but she says no. She's like, I'm not interested in you at all. Like, she was like, she liked the compliments.
Yeah.
In fact, she may have actually been interested, but what she stands on by the end is, I'm not going to actually do anything with you because, again, I'm married, and
it shows how much a better person she is than Fred, because throughout the whole movie, Fred was still like daydreaming about this one lady.
Yes, absolutely. And again, I think we don't see a daydream from Wilma. I do think that if you wanted to equal out the scales, you would obviously have a segment where she gets a daydream perception of what,
Or she would meet this person a lot earlier.
Yes, but this person
to give him a contrasting love,
yes,
affair interest.
Yeah, because Xavier, the difference between Xavier showing interest and the mystery woman just never showing any interest at all is stark. Fred just finds her interesting.
She kind of winks back at him when they're driving in the beginning.
That's a fair point. Never mind. Yeah, good point. All right. Now, this is what I mean. Now, he's over here and he gives her the flower at the same time that Wilma sees it. And she's like, oh, okay. This is the speed we're working with. And she takes Xavier up on the offer and dances with him. And,
and Barney and Betty just like
they're just like holy. What did we walk into?
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Fred and Wilma having an affair. Yeah, I'm seeing that too. And if you're thinking about getting involved, don't think about it.
Don't even think about it. Exactly. Yeah. So everyone's now on the same page. Well, not everyone's on the same page. It's all inadvertent energy, but they're all kind of in different areas, and it gets to a point where, the moment that Wilma says, "Hey, I'm not going to give you this jewel," he's like, "All right, well, fuck you. I'm just going to take you and this jewel," and it ends up becoming this very cool chase sequence that utilizes a lot of the.
Well, he just gives up trying to woo her, so it's like I'm just taking a jewel.
Yeah, it goes from like maybe if I try this,
for it. He's just like
yes. He just goes and tries to take, and that's how it goes. And you get this moment on the dance floor where again, like they're trying to find the glass. They're like through the glass, they try to find the jewel, all that stuff. But again, he takes Wilma, and it's a good chase. Like I think an in-universe for Flintstones chase, I think they utilize the techniques well. Of again, you're going to see the same settings over and over and over again. When they're going uphill, they do this thing where again you see the layer, and then they use the same technique. Like they could have evolved it, but they kept it within this concept of how again the Flintstones universe is sort of animated to a degree. Like there are moments where obviously they go beyond because they can.
Yeah.
But I like where they keep things in most of the moments.
Well, at that point, it's a meta joke, and every cartoon just makes.
Oh, of course, yeah. But it was good to see here. I mean, you're talking about a legacy spin-off film from that is animated, and it's like no, it still keeps it. No, that's good. Meanwhile, Fred he's in pursuit. And he's going after them on this quest here. They go through a lot of different areas. Again, it's not necessarily long in the tooth. It doesn't go on for too long. But you know that this is going to go to some dramatic end. They get back on top of this lava pit that they were at earlier that Fred was afraid of. He tries to do his bowling technique, and everything seems like it's going to go. I mean, it looks like it's going to go peachy keen, Mark. I mean, everything looks perfect, and it just falls right off the side.
But we never seen him use the bowling technique in outside the daydream. But the reveal is just like a coconut that's not doing anything.
Yes. And it's like that doesn't work. And so he goes and attempts to fight Xavier, and it just ends up a wet fart. And that's where Wilma goes, "All right, I'm gonna just kick your ass now. You touched my husband. I'm kicking your ass," and it kind of puts it into overdrive, and she saves the day herself, basically.
Well, yeah. Well, the fact that Fred is willing to chase Velma to to save her, kind of shows to her how much Fred cares.
Oh yeah,
and that was the kind of revelation right there.
Absolutely.
I think he does say something before he attempts to throw her in lava.
Oh, you mean he says to Wilma.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he says something. I don't have it in my notes. But yeah. And that's that adds on top of it. But again, it's a beautiful moment that rekindles this. And at the end of it all, the mysterious woman was a cop, and they get back, and number one, Fred's, I guess, still kind of finding
I knew there was something about her. I assumed she was like some kind of other spy just trying to get the diamond.
Yeah,
I didn't think she was a cop.
I did not either. I did not at all. But she's a cop, and yeah. And they get back and they have this moment, and it's beautiful, and they're back to being this lovey-dovey relationship. Well, as lovey-dovey as the Flintstones are, I'll say. And that's kind of where, at its core, it wraps. Obviously, we get a little bit of a funny moment in the end credits.
Well, hold on. You forgot Betty and Fred and Barney. Like, Betty's arguing with Barney, like, how come you don't save me from dangerous men?
Well, that was why I was like, oh, come on. I was like, but it's funny though, but it's like, of course.
And like, so like before we get to the end,
yeah,
they that kind of recaptures their relationship, and Fred is kind of turning around, especially with the Rebels, where he's like, we're like, tomorrow we're gonna have a big breakfast on me. I appreciate, like, he tells them how he appreciates them and like them taking on this trip.
Yes.
And like he's finally like doing good on his end with them by paying for the big breakfast. And like then we get to they're finally reconnecting. You can assume this is probably the origin story of Pebbles, because they're definitely going to have like raw sex after this. And so they finally use that like bed, and like, so a very memorable joke in the common joke in the Flintstones show that also gets parried a lot is, you have like, anytime you see like a mechanism with an animal, when you leave the camera will close up on the animal and the animal turns to the fourth wall, it's a living. And we haven't gotten that in this movie at all, and they were saving it until the very end, or like I never thought about, like, yeah, there's no electricity or like mechanics in this world,
right?
So you don't think about how the bed is rumbling, but they show you like, oh, the bed is rumbling because underneath there's a monkey just doing all the work.
I didn't
and he zooms in, and he zooms in on the he zooms in on the monkey, turns to the fourth wall, finally says the line, "It's 11," and that's where it ends.
Yes, that's great, absolutely. Excuse me. And then at the obviously during the credits rolling, you get to see what Dino's been doing. What Dino's been doing. And he's been having a grand old time.
He's fucking up the house because early in the movie, like, he was excited to go with them, but Fred was like,
Fred, yeah, he's like, you want to go on this trip, don't you? Huh, fuck you. And
anything helping to this house, I'm gonna fuck you up.
And I guess he gets fucked up later.
Yeah,
because
he gets put down.
That house is.
They get a new Dino after this.
In fact, yeah, it's probably a new Dino entirely.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ, he rips the crap out of that house. And yeah, that's how it comes.
And they're cavemen. Like, there's no, Fred's not putting him down like through the vet or anything. He's gonna fucking bonk.
No, he's just bashing him over the head.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, no, he doesn't.
His dog's getting killed.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's how it rolls. That's we're gonna take a quick break. On the other side, final thoughts on Flintstones on the Rocks.
This has been the Flintstones on Boomerang from Cartoon Network.
Hey everybody! We're still on this movie because I've got a different person with me here today, and that is this loser.
Oh. Hey! Greetings.
Bacon McShaken.
What's happening?
He's from a twerk team. Get out!
From the what?
Yeah, you're from a Bacon McShaken. That's your twerk team name.
Did you hear what I said, Aaron?
He's talking to his agent. Like, you really got me on this fucking show?
Hey, look, I'm just happy to be here.
All right, so quick thoughts on Flintstones on the Rock. So you were there on the movie night where you saw it with us.
Yes, I was.
So like, first of all, what is your history with the Flintstones?
Okay.
This
Flintstones is pretty brief for the most part. I am familiar with the Boomerang channel back when DirecTV and really just cable TV was a lot more popular. So that was one of the shows that was reoccurring that I did watch a lot of. That Jetsons and a few other shows that I can't really remember, but those are the main two.
You remember also those like Fruity Pebble commercials?
I
remember. I like those commercials.
I did, but not on Boomerang Channel, unfortunately. I saw them on Cartoon Network.
They were around. They were
around. They were around.
Yeah, you saw those. You got that cereal too. What? Look at Fred's.
I
face on
don't need a commercial to convince me to eat stuff. Like
I like those cereal.
Like,
but like, so what are your expectations going in? When I told you guys about this movie?
Well, when you told me about the expedition, I expected it to be a lot more raunchy, but it was still clean fun for the most part. Because
this was airing on Cartoon Network. From what I know, this only aired twice.
Yeah,
So this is before Adult Swim was a thing.
Yeah, so once that, I kind of remembered that through like the first like 10 minutes of the movie when you see like the little TV rating in the top left corner. I was like, okay, let me just bring it out just a tad bit. But other than that, the movie was great. It was fantastic.
I mean, best Flintstones thing you've seen, because like it's not like this is a high bar.
I
think it's the best Flintstones thing for me. And again, it's not a high bar. The only other thing I think I kind of liked as a kid, but still not a great movie, is like the Flintstones movie from Steven Spielberg. You know, the live action one.
Yes.
I mostly liked that because the story was stupid, but I mostly liked the practical effects in that. The practical sets and effects in that movie was really fucking kick ass.
The people love stupid movies, though.
Yeah,
I'm a stupid person. Every now and then.
I thought the plot was just dumb, but I do again. I just the practical sets and the effects and puppetry in that movie, fucking awesome.
Yeah, I can't go wrong with that. Yeah, I will also agree. Those, at least that movie and this movie, are two of my favorites from the series. But then again, I don't really have much to go off of. So
it might get replaced because there's a CG Flintstones reboot coming within the next year. It's in production. It's a theatrical movie. They're working on it.
I have a weird feeling that this is gonna go completely left. Completely left. I have a feeling this is going completely left. It's like sometimes when they do some reboots of some stuff, you're just like, I have a feeling this is about to be terrible. Like some people.
I mean, it sounds better than like the. Okay, so a reboot they were going to do that got canceled is the Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy.
Okay.
He was meant to do a reboot of the Flintstones. So imagine Family Guy, but it's just the Flintstones.
What's the rating? Supposed to happen. What's the rating?
Huh?
What's the rating? That really depends.
Think of those, just think about the Fox that he owns. We're talking Cleveland, American.
Think of the Cleveland Show, but was a Flintstones instead of the Cleveland Show. Reskin.
Okay.
Cleveland Show was reskin to be Flintstones.
Here, but the mic is so low that you're probably going to hear me like in walkie-talkie, so I'm not speaking that much. And that's a good point, too. That's why Toonsgiving matters.
Be gone.
What are you talking to?
You're supposed to be not heard and not seen.
Wait, who are you talking to? You're like talking off camera, like as if you.
I'm talking to this darker doppelganger.
Nice. Are you seeing things? Are you okay, man?
I am seeing things, actually.
Yeah, I'm over here, man.
I don't have glasses.
It's kind of concerning me. But like, so what do you what do you think about this movie? Like,
we're talking about the animated
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Okay, I gotta make sure I make that clear.
Seth MacFarlane's show doesn't exist. It got canned before. I think people looked over the script because like from what I heard, people looked over the script of that like canceled show and they were like, this is bad.
Yeah,
that's why they never like greenlit.
Yeah.
No, that's why they never went through finished production of it.
I would definitely say that I like. I really did enjoy the movie. So I know this is our second take officially, but on the first take, I definitely
you have to tell them that.
Surprise!
Surprise, motherfucker! Surprise, motherfucker! All right, keep going.
Okay. No. So before I had some time to think about it. My initial rating was a 9 out of 10. I think I'm ready to see them make it a 10 out of 10 movie. Wow. Like I really couldn't find anything that made me would want to deduct a point.
Like Fred is insufferable in this movie, but like I kind of liked it because like it's like a kind of like an Adam Sandler movie. It's just like watching this insufferable character. It's just like it. That's where the comedy comes from.
Yes.
He's just because he has some of those traits in the original show, but not up to that max. Like they crank it up to the max in this movie.
Oh god. I honestly, this is
because he's definitely a redeemable character in every other fucking thing he's in. But in this movie, he's just an ass.
I will say this: I do enjoy some dark humor from time to time.
Yeah.
I think him being just like damn near a straight up misogynist is absolutely the funniest thing ever.
It is
to the entire show. He's just like, I come home, I expect to see some food on the table. I'm like, yo, what am I in this movie for? I'm in for a while.
I don't mind any kind of media or anything about jerks as long as the media doesn't treat them like they're in the right. And this movie doesn't.
Dog,
that's why it's funny.
He used the counselor as a meat shield. You can't get more misogynistic than that. He's like, come here, running through that thing looking like prime Derrick Henry. Like, I'm coming through the middle. It just had somebody in front and said, shield me. This is not Gears of War. You should not be doing that at all. At all. And she's old. She's old enough to probably be your mother.
She has thrown out the window
your mother up while your wife throws a base at you. You block it with her face. Insane. And she got thrown out the window.
Yes.
Oh, dog. That movie is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. It's bad that I'm laughing at that too, but I laugh.
I'm glad you had a good time with this. I know you were our last movie night was Spinal Tap. You were iffy on that one. You fell asleep.
Iffy by sleep.
Dog. I couldn't. I tried. I couldn't.
I think okay, the second one is more the same type of humor, but it is more sporadic. I think the jokes you probably would find you'd probably be more interested with the second one.
Maybe that's possible.
Not that you're
possible.
You're probably never gonna see the second one. Yeah, it could be in Brian already saw it in theaters.
Fair enough. Okay, that's fine. I don't really care.
There's other documentaries I think
this
you like.
better, so that's all that matters.
Yeah. All right, but that's that's about it. That's all we kind of need from you.
Flintstones and the Rocks is better than Spinal Tap?
You fell asleep on Spinal Tap.
I don't know about that one.
I can see why he thinks that way.
Yeah. Look,
by the way, you guys,
I'm not that high.
I still don't know if the audience can actually pick me. You can hear me. So.
Yes, they can.
We'll find out when I listen back to this.
I'm done stuffed like a turkey. Happy Thanksgiving from your friends in the Fox Box.
Now, as we close our thoughts on, obviously, quite the adventure, quite the saga, quite the family feature. This is not a family feature. Obviously, we talk Thanksgiving here. Mark, what did you think about... we talked, obviously, on the outset what we thought about the movie, but in terms of our final thoughts on the film itself, how do you think it fits into the Flintstones? How do you think it portrays this? Do you think this is a solidly recommended movie? Like, should this be a recommended movie to you?
It's interesting for as a Flintstones parody. If you do like the Flintstones, I think you can appreciate how they took it in a modern sense, especially with the animation and stuff.
Yes.
But I think this could have been even shorter. There was some there's just definitely a lot of time killing animation sequences that still look good for and we appreciate them even more in current day. But in terms of just being an hour long, it didn't really need to be. It could have been 44 minutes.
Agreed.
But it's a decent watch. Not a great recommended watch. Probably not. I haven't watched every Flintstone thing, but I don't know. It's probably could be the best Flintstones thing, but that's a very low bar.
I'm sure there are some great episodes of the Flintstones that you could probably turn on and just say, "Holy crap!"
Hey, that Flintstone CG movie's coming out. That's probably going to be the best Flintstone thing.
I'm not ready to greenlight that yet.
I never watched. I need to rewatch one day the first crossover ever, the Flintstone meets the Jetsons. I know I never watched that.
Gotcha.
I never watched that in recent. I haven't seen that since Cartoon Theater. But that's definitely my first crossover. I wasn't excited. I don't think I watched the Jetsons around that time, but I recognized it was a crossover. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I think if you're in a relationship, I think as long as you can poke fun at each other without feeling like you're one of those two, I think this is a fine thing to watch. Obviously, this is not a family feature, but you could still obviously like they're not going to realize what's happening technically if they're like younger than like 7. But again, like if you're like if
it feels like an Adam Sandler comedy because like the main character is just very insufferable, but that's the joke about.
But that's the joke exactly. That's a good point. Yeah. So like you could easily again if you can bear through the brunt of this and like if you're if you're single, then absolutely watch this. Like check it out, see what you think about it. All that in a bag of chips. Fred can be literally, like you said, insufferable to the point where maybe you don't want to watch this. But it's only an hour long. In terms of how long movies are, like, this is a very concise.
Well, if you watch the Flintstones, I think you'll like this because it is a fun parody. They do because even though a lot of other shows before this were making fun of the Flintstones too, this one does it fine. Just as fine as well.
Fair. Again, I think best thing you could do. Wait. Repeat what you said. You said watch the Flintstones first, right?
No, if you've watched the Flintstones
you've watched the Flintstones, I do think
this works as a parody, the fun.
You have to know for context what's going on here a little bit, and I think again one of the best things you could probably do is just go to IMDb or some ranking website and see what the best Flintstones episodes are. Watch like 4 or 5 of those, see if you like it, and then if you really want to watch this movie, check it out. Be an internet explorer because guess what? It's not on physical release anywhere. So
yeah, I recommend watching because it's a fun gem because you can't really find it anywhere. It's a very hidden gem.
I don't know.
Well, I guess a gem is a gem.
No, it's unique. It's definitely
unique.
like you
unique gem. Unique movie. Maybe gem is the wrong
word.
Yeah, no,
for you, if it's a gem for you, it fits. Like I don't know if this is a.
I don't know if a gem sounds like too much praise though.
Like a gem
I don't think this movie's amazing.
A gem is The Incredibles.
I think it's okay. A unique find, a unique discovery.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why this was great. It's like buried. It's a literally buried treasure. Like it is. It's not a gem. It's not treasure like that. But it's like, hey, here's a couple of quarters on the ground that I found. It's like, here's $1 I found, like, when I was, like, digging for gold or whatever. It's like, yeah, I didn't expect this existed, especially in Cartoon Network lore. Like, yeah, I didn't know this existed at all. So this was a good find. If you're a fan of Cartoon Network, if you're a fan of Hanna-Barbara, if you're a fan of, like you said, fan of the Flintstones, and just animated sitcoms in general, check it out. There's no reason not to. Before we wrap up fully, Mark, I do want to close by obviously it's Thanksgiving, it's Toonsgiving. What would you say?
Toonsgiving, what?
We went this long and you didn't. Don't make that normal, Mark, because we already have our name is CartoonChat, so you could easily make it Goon Chat. All right, so we're trying to just move on past it. All right, Goonsgiving, no. We're better than that. Mark, give the audience a...
Goon Chat is too easy, and it's not that fun. Good. Because it's 2 G's. You get the double G's in there, that's why.
All right, so here's another scenario for you. You know the same family scenario where you just threw out fucking politics and threw a truth bomb at people? All right, same situation. What is an animated show or movie best for a family gathering that would get them off their phones and that they would all enjoy? What's something? Animated show or movie, what would you throw at them?
I mean, I guess Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is the easiest one.
Understood.
Yeah. Or no, The Incredibles, the first Incredibles. There you go, family movie right there. Family movie.
Okay, all right, there you go.
About family.
I was going simple. I was going to say SpongeBob season 1. I think there's enough older people now. I think there's enough middle-aged people now that grew up with it where it's like, ooh, and then there's enough younger people that know the it's so memed out, it's so familiar, everyone knows it, but they may not know the exact episode-by-episode situation, so they might be hooked a little bit. That season 1, that's first 3 seasons, most of the episodes are so hook-worthy that I think that's a genuine tune to get people into. So... you sit behind, you get some stuffing, you get some yams, you get some mashed potatoes, you get some chicken, turkey, whatever you want to do with it. And then you just watch some early SpongeBob. You play some Sonic Crossworlds, having a good time, I just threw that other one in there. All right. So this is the wrap-up of Toonsgiving, guys. We appreciate you for watching. Of course, you can find this at Cartoon Chat Podcast.
Oh, wait, we're not doing the family tone?
We are. I'm just fragmenting that.
Repeat that. Well, restart them then. Future Brian, cut that up.
This has been, of course, Toonsgiving. Cartoon Chat is the animation conversation. You can find it at cartoonchatpodcast.com. You can find it at youtube.com/athemocracy. Screen Blast Society on YouTube and Screen Blast Podcast. Those places you can also find me, Brian the Baltimorean, of course. And you can find, of course, this guy, K9 Biscuits, over at
K9biskuts.com. That's K9 Biscuits.
Yes. And we'll have content for you guys coming soon. Don't you worry. If not, check him out at Screen Blast Society.
I said that like 2 years ago, and I still mean it one day.
He still means it one day. If the YouTube bots don't get to him first,
You bots don't even give a fuck about me.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck is that guy?
And start making AI of you and your videos,
Then the AI gives up.
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you for watching. Of course, enjoy Thanksgiving. Stay tuned for the next one.
Send me a plate. What? I want to play.
This could be a moment for people. Like, what if this is their only plate?
Fuck, I'm gonna walk in. I'm just gonna dance on their table.
See, now we talked about the politics thing. That's way better than the politics thing. Guys, see you later. Mark, get him out of here.
Walking out of get the logo. Walking out, everybody.